Maybe a minute late, but no BS is right on time for you on 1070 The Game. Madison, good morning into the Fox Valley on the Score. Appleton, Oshkosh. I'm Billy Schmidt. That right there is Armen Sarian. Back in the saddle again with us is our friend Andrew Ludwig.
Oh, we're back to full strength.
Skating at full strength, as they like to say. Having ourselves a whale of a time. Armin's already spilled something on himself as he was.
A little coffee on my sleeve.
Well,
no big deal.
Listen, I just saw you feverishly I just wanted to make sure people knew that's what you were rubbing out. On the video stream where you can watch us on YouTube, X, as well as Facebook. And that's where already we have people hitting us up saying, have a great show this morning, guys. And we are going to have a phenomenal one. Our friend Matt LePay will join at 8 o'clock. We'll talk some Badgers and Illini, Badgers and BYU as they go out and take on the Cougs coming up on Friday afternoon.
The Cougs.
I'm being completely honest with you.
Second Cougs.
About 38 seconds ago, I realized that game's at 3 in the afternoon.
3 o'clock, 3 in the afternoon. I don't know if that's like a BYU thing. I don't know if that's like a.
It's got to be a Utah deal. It's got to be a Utah deal.
So you can drink before 3. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't want to
can't drink ever.
No, you can.
You got 3%.
You can, but it sucks.
It's all cut in half. And from what I remember is you just cannot buy before noon on most days.
Okay,
on most days, especially Sunday. I know that for sure.
Yeah,
maybe they got to have one foot on the ground though while they're doing it, right? Drinking, I mean.
Oh, sure. I thought you were talking about the soaking part. But I think they're going to be good. I think that just a strange start time in Salt Lake City, but that's going to be a fun game to talk about with our friend Matt LePay. Chris Foster's is going to be on the call with our friend Brian Butch. For that one, I talked to Butchie and got a little preview of that game. Got a little preview of the Cougs.
Oh, awesome.
I love that. Preview of the Cougs. So we'll talk about that coming up with Matt throughout the day. We're going to hear from quarterback one. People call him QB1, Jordan Love. He was giving out coats yesterday along with Brandon McManus, Rasheed Walker, Danny Whalen, everybody handing out some free jackets to the folks in Green Bay, and then heating up the conversation in the locker room as the Packers get ready for the Minnesota Vikings. Little update from him on his shoulder injury and Armin gut check as we're just 4 days away from border battle number 200 at Lambeau Field. This usually about the time where you start feeling a little bit nervous, start getting a little bit of the trepidation for Packers and Vikings week, or is it all confidence at this point rolling forward for you?
Well, no, it's not all confidence. No, it's not. You start feeling it, right? Because you start putting last week's game to bed around Wednesday, hump day. Obviously, today's Thursday. So, yeah, you start feeling it here. You start thinking about the things that could go well, the things that could go wrong, and the things that have gone well and have gone wrong in these games in the past. And it's hard to feel totally confident because the Packers haven't, totally given us reason to feel like Supermen necessarily going into these games. Not only to get the win, they are 6-3-1, but obviously, as we know, the Packers have had their issues. So we'll see if they can try and resolve some of them. Feel a little bit better going into Lambeau than US Bank, just because at Minnesota has always been a house of horrors, no matter how good each team tends to be, respectively. It's always been a place of consternation, a difficult place to go win, but glad this game's at home, Billy. A game the Packers want to go get. I mean, you got to get this one. So I just hate losing the Vikings. So you want to win this one for that reason too. So you start to feel the anxiousness, the nervousness, the sweaty palms, things like that as we get closer to game time. Obviously, we're getting closer to that. So once you get 72 hours in, then you really start to think about it.
It's the right way of putting it too, that you always want to be able to beat the Minnesota Vikings. It's always rather important. This one feels even more important because of not only the standing as to where you were or where you are at the moment in the NFC North and how many log jammed games in the North you have up here. But I just also think about the precedent being set for the division games in 2025. The entire offseason conversation around the Green Bay Packers, not only from us talking and covering and following and loving the team, but from the guys on the team. Like when we were there in training camp and anybody would talk into a microphone, one of the quickest refrains out of the mouths of Packers players was the fact that they were 1-5 in the division a year ago. So when they made the statement in week 1 and beat up the Detroit Lions, it's like, all right, sweet. That's dead and buried. Don't have to worry about that anymore. I mean, just put that in the drawer, locked and sealed until you dig it up week 12. And then you got to go right back at the common refrain from the offseason. So as much as the first 11 weeks of the football season build out kind of who you are, this is now who you wanted to become, the best version of yourselves for this part of the season. to get yourself to a point where you felt like you started to play your best football in the back half of the year. I think Matt LaFleur in the month of middle of September, November on, something like 20 games over 500 in his head coaching career. Definitely best winning percentage in the month of December since he's taken over as a head coach in the NFL. But this is when it really becomes nut crunching time. We've known that for a long time. He's known that, and the football team has for quite some time. It's one of the reasons why I feel you see a different sense of anticipation, and aggression might not be the right way of putting it, but I think you see a very, very aggressive offensive game plan because you know that defense is going to be ultra aggressive on the other side. So how do you combat some of the blitz packages, the immense amount of heat that you're going to face against the Brian Flores team? Get that ball out quick, find a Matthew Golden, find a Christian Watson, a Savion Williams across the middle, and let that young man run a little bit. We've been waiting for some more yak since the Tucker Kraft injury came. Yeah. And I think this might be the week. You break one tackle with the amount of bodies that Brian Flores wants to bring at the quarterback and send at the quarterback. You get the ball out on time, which Jordan Love has done, definitely did against New York. Maybe one of the better games of his career at just being able to beat the pressure with the pass. I think that could be the recipe that you start seeing more and more this week, and one that desperately is needed for the football team.
And you want to see if this game can if you can kind of change the tide and the feel of the game other than what it's been the last few weeks. It seems like ever since Tucker Kraft went down, ever since the second half of that Steelers game, teams have succeeded against the Packers in doing a couple of things, controlling the ball, kind of suffocating your offense in terms of keeping them off the field, keeping drives to a minimum, and being able to go on long, extended, time bleeding drives against your defense. That kind of changed the whole course and tenor of the game one way or the other. The Panthers succeeded in doing it, were able to eke out the win. I thought the Eagles obviously dominated defensively as well. Now they're talented enough to do it either way. But the Giants did the same thing. They just weren't able to get the win, but they kind of had the same game plan and to some extent executed it. The Packers offense, I think in a lot of games, saved, maybe the Eagles game, the Packers offense has done well in limited opportunities, but their opportunities staying limited has been kind of the key for a lot of these teams. So is O'Connell going to try and do the same thing? His Vikings team, a young quarterback, with their defense, are they going to try and do the same thing? Are the Packers going to try and counteract the feel of that game? And that's kind of what I'm most curious about, Billy. Like you said, the aggression, the intensity, kind of the approach to attack the game plan maybe. Is that going to change here against the Vikings? Are the Packers going to try and get some explosives, put early points on the board, try and get the ball back early, do things like that to try and change the whole culture inside the game that it's been the last few weeks? Because as you said, you put up through the first 12 weeks or first 11 weeks, you put up wins. You've done a lot of things, but it's kind of amazing the way the schedule has worked, how backloaded the division part of it is, and some of these teams that it's truly incredible that you still can walk into week 12 saying, man, we still have a lot to learn about this team in terms of how they're going to do in the division, in terms of how they're going to do against, teams that try and play like them or teams that might be in the mix of a playoff spot with them. And this is obviously the toughest part of their schedule. So got to get ready for the gauntlet now. Got to dig in and steel yourself and get ready for 1 week at a time. And it starts here at home with the Vikings.
Yeah. And let me make sure that I'm clear.
Clarify, Billy.
Are the Packers playing their best football right now? No,
I wouldn't say so. No,
but with the stretch of games that you have, when you build out the plan for the football season, right about now is where you start clicking. Maybe the last two games against some lesser opponent, 2 out of the last 3 games, maybe against lesser opponents. All due respect to Carolina, I see that they're in the lurking category, 1 game out of the playoffs.
Yeah,
I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah,
but you're in the time where the pedal does need to start getting put to the metal. And the Packers haven't scored an opening drive touchdown since the Dallas game.
Crazy.
They haven't gotten opening drive points since the Dallas game. So in terms of how quickly you're able to attack, how quickly you're able to get points up on the board, I mean, execution is a big part of it. Game script and plan is obviously a big part of it. All needs to be better. But to start fast against the division in all 3 of these games, I think the Vikings game feels like it might be the second most important one. I think Detroit is if I'm going to be able to pick out of which of these next three that run
to win
snaps on. No, I'm talking about being able to just.
Gotcha.
I'd like them to win all the games.
I was going to say,
in terms of which game is it most important for that streak to finally snap?
Sure.
Maybe not Minnesota because of how prolific they are late in games. Like this game's going to get decided in the fourth quarter, even if it's 2.5, 3-score game. Feels like it's going to be one of those games that maybe they find their best version of themselves late into football games. So it gets tight late. The Detroit game, you need to establish and play from ahead. So if I can only get one,
totally agree.
I'll choose it for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
But for them to start and build in more, I think, belief in the fans that we talk to on a daily basis at 877-794-1973 and on our YouTube chat, X chat. Not only to build in more belief in the national media and football followers and watchers, but also probably in the locker room. Like, you got to start being able to put together some touchdowns or at least some scoring drives early, because the belief in what we're doing throughout the week to build up the plan, that's becoming a question. I mean, if you're not scoring a touchdown in your first 15 in 2 months, then you start really needing to wonder, are we doing everything right in our scouting plan to be able to take advantage early? Or are we just waiting to be able to see what defenses are providing us?
Sure.
Get back, then load up. You got to be able to start from ahead in some of these divisional games. I think the Detroit game's the most important. But for this one, with a Viking team that is very, very emotional because their quarterback, 9, very emotional, right up there neck and neck with the importance of being able to start fast, start early, and be able to rush the passer, play from ahead against the Viking team that's still trying to find themselves with an identity on offense.
Well, play from ahead. You said it, right? And that's obviously what scoring early is about. But part of the reason teams have been able to do what they were doing the last few weeks against the Packers, talking about it, keeping the defense off the field, running the ball, is the Packers haven't been able to play from ahead, right? So it kind of takes away what you're trying to do on defense. You don't get a lead, Billy. The way the Packers want to play is totally different. That's a great point. And yeah, it does feel like the Detroit team is one that's more likely to try and get you in a shootout and outscore you than this Vikings team would be. So if it was one of those two teams, I agree. It is interesting because if you remember, Billy, the Aaron Rodgers, LaFleur teams, that was a hallmark. That was a hallmark of those teams.
Absolutely.
The script was great, that they're scoring a touchdown to open the game like every drive. They're hitting time. You know, it was like whatever it was, the script was great. Now, sometimes the problems came after that and the faucet turned off.
Yep.
But it was like, for a while, you could count on a touchdown opening the game every week, and the Packers haven't had that for one reason or another. Yeah, is it game preparation? Is it planning? Is it just the way these things have shaken out? Should the Packers take the, always take the ball now? I mean, that was the thing last year, if you remember. The Packers were kind of bucking the trend and trying to defer, and they were taking the ball if they won the toss.
And trying to roll down and score.
And roll down and score. So it would be nice to try and do that, establish it. And part of the problem is they haven't been able to establish the run early in a lot of these games, Billy. I think that's part of the issue. But it would be nice to get a good script going, to get something right if you're a coaching staff on Flores' defense, and if you do get the ball early, go and score. Because opportunities for drives might be few and far between. That's been a trend this year. So you want to take advantage of those when you get them. And that, because there starts to be kind of a mental burden on you. If you don't think you're going to get a lot of drives, you get the early one and you have to punt right away.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh man, here we go again. Like I'm never going to get the ball back this quarter. And I just blew. So I got to, there's that urgency and pressure to make everything, count on that one drive. And when you don't do it, it can be a mental strain as well.
Well, in the midst of those games that we talk about, them not being able to score a touchdown on their opening drive since the Dallas game, there's a pick against Cincinnati late. I want to say like a 3rd and 8. Packers are already in scoring range. They're going to be in at least field goal range. Yeah. I shouldn't say scoring range. We actually got to kick. Well, never mind. Sorry. Week 5, that was kosher. Week 5, there was no issues about kicking the ball.
Sure, that's true.
That happened within the last couple of weeks.
But there are now. You just can't count on that.
It's very much.
You can't count on it anymore.
Field goal range, not scoring range. The Arizona game, you get a couple of first downs. Obviously, the fumble on the first drive in the Panthers Carolina game.
That really kills you.
There are plays in there. In a lot of these situations, they're at least driving the ball into opponent territory. They're getting a couple of first downs. It's the finish factor. And what you also talked about is the grinding through drives. Still, very much the issue from what we talked about a week ago. The Packers were able to have a couple of quick strike drives. You think of like 2 plays after the Savion Williams deep ball that flips the field, you're into the end zone because you take the deep shot to Christian Watson. Also a penalty in between there. But like, you need to be able to start fast and execute throughout the plan, because I'm not saying it's all on Matt LaFleur, because I think the plays are there. They're obviously driving into the red zone. That execution is not always on the head coach, but it's all got to be better. The entire sequence has got to be better. And if there's ever the time that it very much needs to, it's these next 3 weeks.
Yeah, and a mistake-free drive too, like mistake-free. Like that's been, something is
would that fire up the Lambeau crowd like
oh my gosh. I mean, because
mistake-free non-penalty drive on the opener.
Because we can talk about game plan and script all we want.
6 to midnight in those crowds.
They gotta we can't have procedural stuff. We can't have a fumble. We can't have all these we can't have drop balls. I mean, we Packers have to find a way to take advantage of everything they can get and not kill themselves in these games coming up, or else they just can't afford those. You can't sustain so many mistakes and be successful, Billy, as you know.
Well,
in this game.
And I've heard some people say they're not good enough to be able to withstand that stuff. I don't think many teams are.
Yeah, good
right?
point.
Like there's not really any certain teams in certain years are.
Yeah, 85
right now, right. I don't know that there's many. I don't know that there is a dominant enough football team that any team can beat themselves like the Packers have in certain games this year and win games.
So true.
Even Philadelphia, even Los Angeles. I mean, Buffalo right now would be out of the playoffs. Or sorry, pardon me, that's the Chiefs and the Ravens. Like those teams, 3 weeks ago, people were talking about the Chiefs still being the best team in football. Very, very much a week-to-week league, especially this iteration of the National Football League. Our friend, the 608, said, every month or two, work has me leaving the house at 6. Wow. Y'all do this every day? I'm on my 3rd cup of coffee. Have a great show. I'll be here for most of it. Well, hey, we appreciate it. We're gonna try. You. And thank you for hanging out with us all day long.
Yeah, it can be tough sometimes, but the nice thing is you get up to do the job, this type of job. I mean, we can't really complain, get to talk to you, Billy and Luddy, and talk about sports. So,
and you get to smell the aroma of what smelled like potato olays outside the radio station today. I don't know if I'm just craving some Taco John's.
I haven't been, and I know you don't like that about me. I know.
Out where?
Taco John's.
I know, but there was a Taco John's outside?
No, I just smelled the aroma. It
smelled like Taco John's.
Yeah.
In the middle of a field?
Which is a weird, I'll agree, Luddy. It's kind of a weird thing to latch onto, is saying this is the specific smell. This thing.
It smelled like hash browns. Smelled like hash browns.
Well, someone in this neighborhood's cooking something.
But you guys were in here working, so you guys wouldn't have understood it. I got here a little later than you guys. You guys were in here working, just grinding away, so you wouldn't have smelled and understood.
I mean,
I understood.
Working. I was drinking coffee here. Yeah. Hey, Billy, by the way, also, I did the quotes for those of you that weren't on the stream watching. I did the hand quotes. By the way, when I do, why I have no idea, when I always do the finger quotes, I always add the thumbs in, like a weird claw. I don't know why. Don't need to do that. I've just been a weird thing I've always done. Somebody told me about it once in high school. Hey, also, I wanted to ask you today, is there anything more fun than a redraft? Because I see everybody doing the redraft of the redraft now. The 2024 NFL quarterback. This is going to be, except for maybe 83, this quarterback class is going to be the one we talk about forever because of the amount of guys and the changing nature of it. And I just keep seeing redrafts. And I'm like, how many times can you do that? I thought you'd like that.
This with Jordan Love's draft. With Jordan,
good point.
Jalen Hurts. I mean, the amount of times that you'll start looking back and redrafting those ones all over the place. And yeah, this one's going to have a plenty of it. 877-794-1973. Hang out with our friend Scott Dolphin here from Jordan Love as we continue on with hour 1. It's no BS statewide on the game.
Want to watch No BS?
We'll do anything it takes.
They're live on YouTube, Facebook, and X right now.
We have a place for it.
Just search 97.3 The Game.
Eric Tasker here from Tailgate Talk. Paul Wagner and myself are back with a new episode everywhere and anywhere that you listen to podcasts. In our latest episode, we gather around the tailgate and talk about the rut in Wisconsin, successes, letdowns, and just a general excitement that comes with the first couple weeks in November. It's a great time to be in the woods, but if you need something to get you through your day, just search for Tailgate Talk on the iHeartRadio app and everywhere that you listen to podcasts. Good luck out there this week to all the hunters. Wear your Blaze Orange and be safe.
iHeartRadio soundtrack flashback.
Warriors, I'm out to play. It bombed in the theaters, but it's now a cult favorite. 1979's The Warriors gave us an unbelievably cool song from Joe Walsh with an even better version recorded by the Eagles, In the City.
In the city.
For more great movie soundtrack hits, check out Popcorn Radio on the iHeartRadio app.
Alzheimer's disease is the sixth leading cause of death in the country, and it's affecting almost 7 million Americans, including 110,000 people here in Wisconsin. UW-Madison is working hard to improve the lives of those affected, offering resources to educate and the latest in research and technology. The UW Initiative to End Alzheimer's has so many ways you can benefit, learn, get involved, and make a difference. Visit goalsforacure.org. That's goalsforacure.org.
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1973.
Led Zeppelin released their fifth album, Houses of the Holy. It goes to number 1 in the US and the UK and yields the top 20 hit Dire Maker.
But I still love you so, and I can't let you go. I love you. Ooh, baby, I love you.
The Doobie Brothers released their top 10 album, The Captain and Me, with the singles Long Train Runnin' and China Grove. And in June, Joe Walsh and Barnstorm have a top 10 album buoyed by the single Rocky Mountain Way. Also in June of 73, George Harrison scores the number 1 single, Give Me Love, from the number 1 album, Living in the Material World. And Chicago's 6th album goes to number 1 with 2 top 10 hits, Just You and Me and Feelin' Stronger Every Day. In July, 600,000 Jam Watkins Glen for Summer Jam, the largest rock festival ever held in the U.S. It features the band, the Grateful Dead, and the Allman Brothers. And in August, those same Allman Brothers released their first album after the death of Duane Allman and had their only hit single with Ramblin' Man, which goes to number 2.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1973. Coming up.
You may not play for your favorite team, but you act like it. Whether you're at work or outside on the grill, you carry them with you. No, not with a jersey, but a mindset as you crack open that ice-cold beer. Cheesehead TV and Gathering Place Brewing bring you Carry the G, a delicious and easy drinking cream ale. But it's not just for tailgating, it's for everyday life.
Well, we carry the G wherever we may be, so creamy and cold from the land of the green and gold.
Available throughout Wisconsin, 21 plus, drink responsibly.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Peter Gabriel to reflect on the WOMAD Festival's evolution.
We initially started this WOMAD Festival in 1980. The first one was 82, and it was very naive enthusiasm for some of these strange and wonderful things we were hearing. And as a failed drummer, I was hearing grooves that I fell in love with, which seemed a lot more alive than what I was hearing on the radio. As a singer too, these wonderful voices, and it's still continued that way. And it's a lot more difficult, because the demise of the music business and record stores has made it extremely difficult for any minority interest label. But we work hard to focus online activities, and there is still, happy to say, a good audience, and the WOMAD Festival is, I think, like a lot of live parts of the business, actually flourishing, even though the records are not doing as well.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Peter Gabriel and all your favorite artists.
Message marked urgent.
We're here for you now on the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line at 1-877-794-1973.
There's actually a magazine called Walking. Look, Dan, the new Walking is out. Here's a good article, putting one foot in front of the other.
Put one foot in front of the other
and soon you'll be walking across the floor. Put one foot in front of the other.
No BS on the Game welcomes you back on 1070 The Game and across the Fox Valley on The Score. I'm Billy, that's Armen, and inside the studio as Scott Dolphin joins us now, he's watching his beloved Bears get run all over by that man in green and gold, formerly Aaron Rodgers, who potentially goes and takes on the Bears this weekend at Soldier Field. Dolph, I can't imagine many Bears fans are hoping to see number 8 with the Pittsburgh Steelers, albeit with a fracture in his wrist or not.
I hope he plays. I mean, I would hate to think that we've seen the last of Aaron Rodgers in that great rivalry. Although he downplayed it a lot this week, saying, not anymore. He said, I don't play for the Packers anymore.
He's setting up a hero arc. Come on, guys. You know this. He's setting up a hero arc. He's going to come in, play. He's going to float in there like Ali, and he's going to be like, I'm ready to come and dominate. And then he's going to have a big monster game, right? Come on. These things are going to happen.
I'm waiting for him to hit the deep shot to DK Metcalf, just like the deep shot to Jordy Nelson. And what was that, like 2013 to ice the game?
Oh, that was a great one. That was because we should never have been in that position.
No.
I'm forgetting who the quarterback
Not
was.
2013. I'm thinking like 2014.
Yeah, maybe. Who was the quarterback? 16. Wasn't good. And we were up like 3 touchdowns and it came up.
In the Bear game?
Yeah. Then
2016, that was Billy.
Okay. That would have been 2016.
There was some USC quarterback. His name is escaping me.
Matt Barkley.
Matt Barkley. Who actually did
Barkley.
okay when he came in at the end of that year. Yeah, they were designated
He really
advantages.
did. Yeah.
But it was, as a Bears fan, it was encouraging to see their top 2 corners finally on the practice field this week, Kyler Gordon and Jalen Johnson. I mean, if those guys can be back, that defense gets better immediately because right now they're running out practice squad guys.
They've been banged up, but they're still getting interceptions.
They are crazy because they're leading the league in turnovers.
Top 3 guys in picks are all Bears. And, one of them's a linebacker, but yeah, I mean, you're like, who are these guys? Well, Kevin Byard has been around a long time.
Now, that is the most Chicago Bears stat line of all time. How are we winning games? Well, top 3 guys in the league all have
picks
for interceptions.
Mike Brown still play for you guys?
Right. It's amazing. It like you said, it can be
Carrier.
It can be 20, 30 years, but it's amazing how some teams keep their identity through different coaches, through different regimes, through different players. And that's always been in recent history, the Bears' identity, whereas the Packers have been the opposite. Offense, but trying to look for it. My question is, with the takeaway thing, do you guys really believe it's a skill and a talent that you can count on? I know that you can become good. You can be an aggressive defender and you can have talent. You can break. I mean, some players obviously have that ability, but can you count on getting the takeaways? Because that's a big problem for the Packers defense this year that they had last year. And obviously that's what's helping the Bears defense this year. But a lot of the argument on the internet is it's sustainable and things like that, right?
McKinney was unbelievable.
Sure,
year,
you
right?
get won a game for a while.
Yeah, I don't think you can count on. I mean, and the Bears didn't get them early, and that defense was bad early, and they haven't been great. I mean, they're still probably bottom half of the league, but they've played so much better as of late. Because I think it's because they're getting healthier. They got some of those pass rushers back, and that's a huge thing. It'll always be their identity. I always cringe when they have games like they did against Detroit this year. They give up 50 points because you're just not used to seeing that. As bad as some of those Bears teams have been in the past decade, the defense has been pretty good.
Oh yeah. Well, and that's where I equate it more of can you count on home runs? Right? Like, sure, everybody wants to, and defenses need to force turnovers if you're going to be the best defense in football right now. And in defense in 2025 is all about taking the football away. So teams have more power guys, right? You can draft guys in the secondary like a McKinney, who you grab in free agency, who have great ball skills. And that's what they're brought in to do. But to bank on that you're going to get 20 of them a year, to your point, Armen, kind of difficult to make sure that you're going to. But you build your team banking on the fact that you're going to try to get them.
I mean, it's drastic what they've done to these poor defenses in the NFL over the years. I mean, think about it. This is an offensive game now. People want to see scoring. It gets higher ratings. And so, you defensive players are pretty much handcuffed. You can't hit the quarterback. You can't touch anybody after 5 yards.
And I'll be the guy to say I like it.
Yeah. I'm okay with it too.
I know a lot. I know we don't necessarily love to say it, but I like scoring points. I am somewhat simple, even though I love the National Football League, and I'll enjoy a 6-3 game. Like I think the Bears played against the Seahawks a year ago on a Thursday night.
6-3.
I prefer those to be 1 or 2 a year.
We've had a couple of those already this year.
Yeah, I definitely prefer more 35-31 games.
I'm fine with it. I'm not against it. I tend to agree. I do think it's interesting though. It does change how we view guys, right? Like how we analyze quarterbacks now is very tough because I take Jordan Love as an example. Okay, a very popular narrative. Oh, can you trust Jordan Love? Can you trust Jordan Love? Does he make important turnovers in situations? Then you go back in history and you're like, oh, this guy's really turning over that much comparatively. But in terms of the current era, the contemporary era, like quarterbacks just don't turn the ball over anymore. Like, they don't throw picks anymore. Picks are thrown a lot less, and that's because the cycles of the game and the progression and the way the game has evolved. Teams are on both sides of the ball taking less risk than ever, right? On defense, their teams are taking less risk by playing more shell. Players have evolved in their training. Offenses have evolved in their preparation to try and put their, less dangerous passing and less dangerous things. So guys just don't throw picks as much anymore.
And it's a run first league, and it's always going to be a run first league. And that's the one big difference between college football and pro football is the offenses are completely different. I mean, what plays in college just does not work in the NFL. God knows they've tried. And to their credit, they've actually adopted some things that have been popular in college football into the NFL offenses, and it's worked to a certain extent, but it's always going to be a run.
Even the fumble rate has decreased significantly over history. As more that defenses have tried to force them, the more offensive players are trained to protect against them.
Yeah.
And that makes sense. I mean, it's all evolves as we get better at our craft and better at the game and teach more about the game. But it's probably emphasized so much more that the best running backs come up protecting the ball because that's what they're taught to do, and that's what their value is to teams.
You got to look out for that peanut punch.
Right? Well, I'm also excited to see, Dolph, like you mentioned, with more offenses that have kind of blended in between college and pro. Right now, it feels like there's a few different college coaches that are in the hunt for NFL jobs, or at least in the rumor for NFL jobs. That wasn't always you're more of a college coach, more of a pro guy. I don't know that you can necessarily do it at this level. You did it at that one. They're so similar in roster building now that I think both sides are like, well, yeah, I mean, I was coaching in the NFL. Why can I not take that to college? And vice versa, when you got coaches in college being like, well, I just want to coach football. I don't want to recruit or ask boosters for more money every single year. I think I'm going to go do that. And it seems like you're either deciding now or flip-flopping after every 3 or 4 years.
Did you see that graphic they put on Monday Night Football, the college coaches that have won national championships and Super Bowls?
It's a short list.
Well, they had it up there because Pete Carroll was coaching the Raiders. He did it, and then there's only been 2 others, and they were almost back to back.
I didn't see it, so I'm trying to.
Cowboys.
Jimmy Johnson for sure,
Johnson and Barry Switzer. Yeah. Those are the only 3 that have ever done it.
Wow, that roster was such a wagon, which makes it look worse for Jerry Jones as history goes on,
and for Barry Switzer because we all know that he did it with Jimmy's guys.
We did it with his guys, but then it also is like one of the time. I think it shows exactly why you see these guys want to do it. Why did you see Urban Meyer take the shot? Because he wanted to join. Why is Jim Harbaugh back? Because he wanted to do the shot.
Yeah.
And because of what was going on in Michigan. But
Harbaugh's one guy that has had great success at both places. At both levels.
Yeah.
And he could be the next guy to do it at the NFL level.
You guys don't think that UNC's doing pretty well?
Hey, they're playing better, right? Don't they have like 4 wins now?
They do, and they even got a conference win. They even got a conference win.
They beat Stanford.
If that's the benchmark for success for what we're talking about, then yeah, they got to win. They got to win. So
they got one. Hey, let's not start counting wins in college football. Okay.
Well, did Jordan's team win the cheerleading competition? Because there's been a lot of talk about him being there. We didn't know how she did. I didn't get the results.
See this, Dolph?
No, I'm just gonna go there. That's what we're all thinking about, right?
Oh my God!
Forget UNC's record. Let's talk about Jordan and Bill Belichick.
Well, that is where the story goes. So it has been found, or at least spotted. Bill Belichick has been spotted cheering on his girlfriend, who is apparently a part of what I did not realize was a thing, an adult cheerleading team.
And I guess apparently, Portnoy said to fall back. This is like one of the fastest growing sports in America. So
it's like professional cheerleading league or what? Is that what it is?
It's competitive cheerleadling.
A little younger than like the grand dancers.
You mean the dancing grannies?
Yeah, this is like they're all after college. Looks like 24 to 25-year-old.
Whatever she is, that's what old she is.
Yeah. And it's an adult cheerleading team, and there's the picture of Bill Belichick hanging out in the back, just cheering on his lady. And now I, for one, think that it is awesome that Bill is supporting Jordan.
Well, you should, if you're in a relationship and you're committed, you should be trying to support the other person's passion.
As somebody that has played in a lot of beer league softball games,
That's
that
gonna
a
say.
lot of significant others show up to.
Yeah, beer league softball games. You have over 40 basketball league. You have all these things that
Listen,
we do.
flag football that I played in,
Yeah.
where certain significant others brought like signs.
Exactly.
I'm not going to be upset about it. I'm proud of Bill.
So you played in a rec league, flag football league? Or
Oh,
what?
this was
Yeah,
legend.
I
I remember when you guys won the thing. It was crazy, right?
Which time?
Fair enough.
Yeah, which time?
Point
What-
taken.
which of the 6 times?
Point
No,
taken.
it definitely played
In a row? Did you win them in a row?
Shut your mic off.
Oh, okay.
Don't worry about the
Probably
fourth one in
6
a
or
row,
7.
okay? But in the midst of being able to see that event, I just didn't know that adult cheerleading was a thing. And I, for one, want to have it on pay-per-view.
Yeah.
I want to see more of this. And I think we are potentially unlocking the next great reality television show if we have adult cheerleading teams and finding out the individuals that are a part of this
making
group.
the squad, kind of like they did with the Cowboys cheerleaders.
Definitely good for reality.
You're going to
show.
tell me Vice shouldn't be all over this?
It should be there's definitely a story there. It's like what was it? Dance Moms that became big
Oh,
for a
yeah,
while.
that was great.
Dance
I
Moms
watched
was
that show
hilarious. But you got
with
to
my
have
daughter.
you have to have the characters that
This would be
are crazy.
Dance Moms in training. At least at least
adults.
what I'm planning on.
Dance adults.
Like-
no, yeah. So this could be apparently some people are saying competitively co-ed adult cheerleading is going to be an Olympic sport.
Why not? Because right now,
don't
I
think
know
we'll do
with high school and college, those competitions they have down at Disney World are massive.
They
They're
are
all
big.
over ESPN.
Competitive cheer is a big thing. I just didn't know, like you said, Billy, there's like rec leagues. Like, you know what I mean? For it. Like, I didn't know that there were like adult rec leagues.
I did not know that there were competitive leagues. I should have been more familiar with the game. Dov Kleiman. Everybody's waiting for him to be able to aggravate. It's trending. 72-year-old Bill Belichick caught at a cheerleading competition splitting his 24-year-old girlfriend, Jordan Hudson, who is a member of a co-ed adult cheerleading team.
I don't think
Last line.
He wasn't like incognito.
Yeah, caught. What was the last line, Billy? Sorry, what was it?
True love is so special.
Oh, that's true. I mean, caught is an interesting word to use. Breaking.
Caught red-handed.
Armen, sorry, and caught picking out apples at the grocery store. I'm like, I think he meant to be there. I don't think as weird as it might seem.
I mean, you massaged him weirdly, but whatever.
Yeah, the weird thing was when you took him into the car.
Well,
877-794-19.
What's your favorite apple, Armen?
The Gala apple. The Gala apple. Gala. I don't know how you
I think it is
pronounce
Gala.
That's the first person I've ever heard say that one.
Well, you combine the taste and the value. That's the best one. I mean, because those are always on sale for like. I love Honeycrisp, but they're like $3.79 a pound.
Yeah.
Well, if the other Galas are $1.79 a pound, I'm getting more apple for my money there, and they're still pretty good apples.
Just not as good.
I think the taste is still good. I just think it might be not what you're like. Maybe if you want a sweeter taste.
You ever see the Family Guy episode where Cleveland is the apple expert?
I think I saw the clip.
And they ask him about they said what's your favorite apple? He says, well, that question's twofold. He says it's crab for hucking and jazz for eating. And Peter says, what about the Honeycrisp? He goes, science apple made in a lab.
It's true. I love when people say, have you seen the episode? It's like, no, we've all seen clips. You see Family Guy in clips now. You don't see it in episodes.
Yeah, that's most TV shows. That's most TV shows.
True.
Dolph, you adding in a Family Guy reference here today makes me very, very happy. Also makes me feel like we got to go hit a sunset or a sunrise over here.
Yeah, it's getting close, right?
It's getting close.
Yeah, it's almost that time.
Thank you for not giving us the Marquette score.
Well, Armen, are they going to? I mean, Dayton is perennially a good team. I don't know if they are this year, but you lose in overtime last
That's
night.
a good basketball team.
They are a good team. They were good last year when Marquette lost on the road. They're good. I mean, I just don't know if Marquette is right now, and that's part of the problem. And I unfortunately I speak for Marquette usually, and I don't know what to say about this team other than they are struggling right now. This is, some people thought a transitional year, but what that meant, we weren't sure. But the teams they've gone up against, obviously Indiana got boat raced. Maryland lost at home. Now Dayton lost one in overtime last
Did they
night.
get the shot they were looking for at the end of regulation yet?
They're still looking for it, Billy. They're still looking for the shot.
All right. I think we get one more pass at the end of regulation. I think we're finally going to get that open look.
Get something up. Haven't we learned about this? I understand it's a zone and all that. So get a
Holy
shot.
Grayson Allen.
And I got news. Chase Ross, you've done a lot of great things as a Marquette player. A lot of great things. And I love you. And now this is your team now. You got to take that shot, Chase. You're Chase Ross Cam's gone. Tyler's gone. All these guys are gone. You are taking the shot. Now you're that guy. I want you to know it's okay, Chase. I'm giving you the ability to take that shot. You took it against Colorado in the in the second round. That was the biggest shot you ever made. You're going to make more this year. But Chase Ross, you're the guy now. All right, you got to take that shot. I mean, he's going to be Marquette's leading scorer all year, so it's his shot to take. Like, you can't be scared to take a shot like that.
You can't be.
Also, after coming back the whole second half to get yourself a chance to win at the buzzer, this wasn't a game Marquette had and lost, right? I mean, Dayton had this lead the whole second half. So you come back all the way to get this in this position. You can't lose to home. You need a win. You need a decent non-conference win right now. You got to get a shot up in that situation.
Well, that's why they're going to go beat Wisconsin and Purdue.
Okay. Okay.
They showed the gauntlet of the schedule. Like, they got a lot of non-conference games to still play.
Get me a pen. I'll sign up for that. Yes.
Badgers play tomorrow afternoon out in Salt Lake City, right?
We're talking about it. Yep.
2:30.
3 o'clock tip.
You see the one kid from BYU got suspended. He got a DUI. He caused a crash. But the BYU student guideline, you can't have alcohol.
Yeah, I
can't have
like that.
You can't have caffeinated coffee.
That's the
or
thing.
they can run you.
You have to drink decaf. So
what the hell's the point?
It's bad to get a DUI anywhere, but you get it there. I mean,
you're toast.
What do you mean you guys? What do you mean you were driving?
You're driving?
You were drinking and driving? You were drinking and
alcohol?
driving?
Were you drinking coffee?
Honor code's going to be.
There's like 19 things wrong. You might. What if you had a girl in the car? You don't know.
Then it's especially after 9 o'clock, because I believe
then he can transfer to ASU.
And it's very serious. I don't want to make light of it. That's a very serious thing to do anywhere you are. Obviously,
Sure.
Don't be doing that, guys.
He's a transfer from Southern Illinois. I doubt that he's a member of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, but I could be wrong.
Well, Dolph, I've heard those rules are a little loose at times with the admissions there at BYU.
Imagine that. Yeah. Jim McMahon went there, for God's sake.
Yeah, right. McMahon's like, I ain't doing any of this stuff. Wasn't that the storyline?
He said Lavelle Edwards couldn't wait to get me out of there. I was such a causing chaos every weekend. Jimmy Mack.
They were ready for him. We're ready for more heat from Armen. We got a lot more of that on the Marquette game from last night. Dolph, always appreciate it, brother.
All right,
Talk
boys.
to you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
There he is, Scott Dolphin, hanging out with us here on No BS. Here from Jordan Love coming up. We're back before hour number 2 starts up. That's Armen Sorry, and I'm Billy Schmidt. It's No BS on the game.
The mister who was ready to play. Wasn't me, she a fool, of course she knew what she was doing, and I know love was here to stay. What you told me to.
I'm Bridget Condon with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. Browns rookie quarterback Shedeur Sanders is making his first NFL start on Sunday. Head coach Kevin Stefanski confirmed that Sanders will start Week 12 against the Raiders, while Dylan Gabriel remains in concussion protocol. Giants quarterback Jackson Dart is on track to return to the starting lineup Sunday against the Lions. According to interim head coach Mike Kafka, Dart suffered a concussion in Week 10. Elsewhere, Falcons quarterback Michael Penix Jr. will miss the rest of the season. Further evaluation on his left knee revealed he'll need surgery to repair a partially torn ACL. Kirk Cousins will take over as the Falcons starter moving forward. And good news in Cincinnati, quarterback Joe Burrow was a full participant in practice Wednesday, taking part in 11-on-11 drills for the first time since his toe injury. However, head coach Zach Taylor declined to comment on when Burrow will return to game action. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com, because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, ETHOS, ethos.com/play.
Are you a parent of a 2 to 8 year old? Listen closely for an exciting offer, then head to abcmouse.com/radio to learn more. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
We're offering a promo at abcmouse.com/radio to try it for free for a month, then $14.99 per month until canceled. Go to abcmouse.com/radio to see this offer. That's abcmouse.com/radio. Actual ABC Mouse users compensate for their testimonials, sponsored by Age of Learning.
Drew and KB on the gang.
We're riding the K train. Kato Kalin joins the program. Hey, the Just a Bit Outside documentary from your friend Kelly Call and his crew was phenomenal. I've watched it a bunch of times. We make all of our young listeners and our young coworkers watch it to see what it was like with the 82 Brewers and why that team is so beloved. I'm just wondering, Kato, what memories did that bring back for you when you saw it?
It was
great because first of all, when they beat the Angels, coming back 3 games in a row, it's phenomenal. Everybody, I remember going to so many games. Harvey Keene was amazing. The whole gang. One time I did an event, and it was actually when I was living in LA, but I was flown to Milwaukee when the Potawatomi sort of just opened, and I was a guest of a huge charity, and my seat was next to Moose Haw. And I had the guy was great. He lives in Scottsdale now. So I stayed, we exchanged numbers, and we just reminisced about how great he was and how great the group was just during that entire time. I mean, Vukovic, Gorman Thomas, it was so blue collar that, everybody gravitates that this team has got to win it all, which they didn't.
You can find all of the shows in podcast form. Just search Drew and KB on the iHeartRadio app.
If you have a smart speaker, listening to WISN has never been easier. Just tell Alexa, Google Home, or Siri on HomePod to play 1130 WISN on iHeartRadio. Then sit back and enjoy the excellence.
It's the greatest story in sports.
Star dropping straight back. It is he throws, has the ball. It is the touchdown.
I'm Doug Russell, and this is Tales from 1265, an insider's look at football's most storied franchise. A franchise that has had its dynasties.
This is the first Super Bowl trophy.
And its rebirths.
Every major football decision will be made by Ron Wolf.
Tales from 1265 is presented by Nicolay Law, your local award-winning injury lawyers, and can be heard on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Message marked urgent.
We're here for you now on the NicolayLaw.com talk and text line.
Hey, I'm just trying to find some answers here.
At 1-877-794-1973.
No PS on the game. Billy and Sarian with you across the state of Wisconsin. Hear from Jordan Love and his update on his shoulder injury coming up in about 15 minutes from right now. Armen, I know I have been following the SEC head coaching carousel, so maybe you don't have to and the rest of us don't have to. I'll just keep us updated on all the drama and intrigue that's happening.
Thank you, Billy, for doing God's work on that. I've keeping an eye on it with from a 1,000-foot distance, kind of just aware of it.
1,000-foot view.
But I'm not in on the flight tracking and all that stuff and on the latest from every SEC blogger and whoever's sleeping at the airport type of thing.
I found myself on the SEC message boards last night a little bit.
Wow. What a place to be, Billy. And I appreciate you doing that.
I thought Reddit was a hot place.
You going back to the boards? I mean, this is like 2005.
First off, message boards still exist.
They still exist.
That's a huge win for the internet.
I used to be all over.
That's a huge win for fans in the internet.
Gosh.
Message boards do still exist.
Billy from Baton Rouge.
Now you potentially have to. No, that's Billy Nungusser.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not Billy. By the way, when I found my coin.
Well, I was gonna say I was cleaning out my closet yesterday and I found
challenge coin.
No, I found the deputy governor's phone number again. I feel like we should probably give him a call.
I think we should.
We should maybe just give him a call and see what's going on.
Yeah,
just see if we could get a little bit of an update. It sounds like the governor's office is somewhat involved. Listen, Governor Jeff Landry was asked if he's going to hire the coach. I hired the coach. But listen, we're going to get a good coach. I had a dream last night. Woke up, I had a good coach. Now I don't know who's going to hire the coach, and I hired the coach. However, Matt Boscana over there, sitting there, he know. You go ask him who the new coach going to be.
Oh, man.
Dude, it is
so
one of the best Real Housewives meets sports situations I've ever been able to come in contact with. It just keep you up to speed. Lane Kiffin, current coach at Ole Miss. Their stadium seats less than 60,000 people. He is being poached, the only other way you can say it, by University of Florida, who I believe his grandfather either played at UF or coached at UF. So he's got Gainesville lineage. And that would be one that everyone's like, well, he, of course, is going to go to Florida.
Yeah, why? Because they think that's important.
Yeah, but didn't he get passed over for a job down there already once?
He got passed by both of them. He thought he was going to get an interview when both of these teams hired their last coach, Billy Napier with Florida, and Brian Kelly, and he didn't get an interview at all.
Yeah, so I think this idea that he's going to feel so good because,
Now they're flying
ex-wife's a
his
Florida alumni.
ex-wife to and from different cities to get a look at the state and get a look at where they might be going to school. Much different story. All right. And I understand wanting that. It's got to feel good to feel wanted.
That's
my
a
man
big
feels
thing.
very wanted,
Very wanted.
right now.
Well, he wasn't for a while.
And
yeah.
He is eating it all up.
Don't blame him.
I'm interested, though, and we touched on it a tick with Scott Dolphin. Everyone's wondering, is Lane Kiffin going to stay at Ole Miss? He's going to go to LSU. He's going to go to Florida. Anyone throw the New York Giants in there?
Could be in there. I like that.
Is he going to coach Jackson Dart?
Could be like, forget all you guys.
He just coached in college a year ago.
I'm going to the league.
Obviously, the league didn't work the first time with the Raiders. There have been a lot of things that didn't work for Lane Kiffin at one particular point in time.
Yeah.
And everybody immediately is just saying, well, if he was going to take one of these other college jobs, you have to make the decision by this time or that time. And you kind of do. At some point, the way the calendar is
with the
set
portal
up, with the portal set up, we'll talk with Matt LePay coming up at 8 o'clock.
Ball, yeah.
You got to sign a high school recruiting class in less than 3 weeks.
Yeah, crazy. I mean,
the high school recruiting cycle is, I think, signing day is the 10th of December. It's right in the second week of December.
Imagine taking a new job, moving, trying to figure everything out, onboarding, new gear, all these things, and having to go to work right away and do all this stuff.
In like actual stuff. Portal opens up first week in
that's crazy.
January. So you do kind of have to know. People are wondering, and last year we saw it with a player. This year we might see it with one of the highest profile coaches in the sport. Right now, the most polarizing coach in the sport. Maybe is the best way of putting it with Lane Kiffin.
That's fair.
He could get fired before the college football playoff with his team in the playoff. He could choose to outright quit on his team going into the playoff.
Which is tough for the legacy, right? People attach that to you sometimes.
I would think all the time.
Yeah, they always say
like
that. You quit on your team.
That's a tough one to live down, Armen. You're spot on.
Less had that problem.
All the different things that Bobby Petrino is famous for.
Yeah.
You never thought there was going to be something that he was going to be more famous for than quitting on the Atlanta Falcons to go to the Arkansas Razorbacks.
Even Nick
Not
Saban
gassed up his motorcycle and changed that course.
Yeah. Now, Nick overcame that, but even Nick Saban, Brian Kelly, Notre Dame and all these things, people hate that. Yeah.
But now at least those guys left at the end of the regular season.
I guess you're right.
Going into a bowl game, general coaching transfer portal time is going into the bowl season. But, I mean, you are, to that point, you're putting yourself in a very rarefied air of guys that outright quit on a chance to win a title. And then I'm going to make you the highest paid coach, highest paid state employee of either the state of Florida or state of Louisiana as the head football coach at LSU or Florida. Like, I get wanting to go somewhere else. I understand. You have the freedom to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But just understand the tax that you're going to pay. Because the legacy tax is a real one here for Kiffin. It's a fascinating deal. 877-794-1973. More coming up into hour number 2. We're going to hear from Jordan Love when we return on the other side. Jordan Love, update on his shoulder injury. Update on his thoughts on Josh Jacobs. Manuel Wilson, amongst other parts of the Packers offense, comes up straight ahead. It's No BS with Billy and Sarian on the game.
97.3 The Game. This is what's trending in Milwaukee now.
There are just 2 games left in what can fairly only be described as a disappointing Wisconsin football season. But there are games where it feels like there was some momentum heading into halftime, only to see the final 30 minutes go south. Why is that?
Some of that is we've lost the coin toss and not been what we want it to be, where we can actually get the ball to start the second half. And some of it is our defense goes out there and not say a tough situation, but in a situation where we really need you guys to step up and kind of get this second half going, and we did.
Wisconsin football coach Luke Fickell. Saturday, his Badgers play host to Illinois. Kickoff is at 6:30. The Packers return to the practice field on Wednesday ahead of Sunday's home game against the Vikings. Sunday's game will be the first of 3 straight against division opponents. Running back Josh Jacobs did not practice on Wednesday, but Coach Matt LaFleur did not rule him out for Sunday's game. I'm Doug Russell on the Game Radio Network.
Stay tuned.
You do like to grab attention.
No BS will be back in just a moment.
When Marlon Shirley was 5, he lost his foot. Today, as the world's fastest amputee, he runs the 100 meters in less time than it takes to listen to this. Overcome it. Pass it on. From the Foundation for a Better Life.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Sir Elton John to ask what were some of the first things he did when he arrived in America.
You have to realize that when I first came to America and went to places like Memphis, I went to the Stax studio and knelt before the 8-track machine and kissed it. I went to Motown Studios. I went to the Apollo Theater in New York. It was very, very important for me to pay homage to the places that the great music came out of. I went to the Ryman in Nashville. It's, as a British person who loved American music, it was very important for me. I was fascinated, all the hours of pleasure that this stuff had given me.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Elton John and all your favorite artists.
We'll be right back on The Game.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Bryan Adams to discuss the difficulties of putting a record together, particularly the Reckless album.
If you knew what Reckless took to make, you wouldn't think that, it just sounds like we went in an afternoon and recorded a record, because I toiled over that record for 6 months, I mean, it was one of the hardest things I ever did. I was completely wiped out afterwards, because I fought every step of the way with everybody about it. And even though I had a good team, there was a lot of struggles. Mm-hmm. But, I come to terms with the fact that, if you want something bad enough, you got to fight for it. And so that's what I do now. I just, I put together a good entourage of guys and go in there and just get in the scrum, man.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Bryan Adams and all your favorite artists.
For a variety of tips, including a mortgage reality check to help homeowners safeguard their properties during the current mortgage crisis and in the future, visit housinghelpnow.org. That's housinghelpnow.org, a public service from the NFCC.
Did you know that every 65 seconds, someone in the U.S. is developing Alzheimer's disease and 1 in 3 seniors are dying of it or another dementia? University of Wisconsin-Madison researchers are trying to improve the lives of people affected with innovative treatments, early diagnosis, and comprehensive support for families and caregivers. Together, we can improve lives and build a future with Alzheimer's disease in Wisconsin and beyond. Visit goalsforacure.org.
You may not play for your favorite team, but you act like it. Whether you're at work or outside on the grill, you carry them with you. No, not with a jersey, but a mindset as you crack open that ice-cold beer. Cheesehead TV and Gathering Place Brewing bring you Carry the G, a delicious and easy drinking cream ale. But it's not just for tailgating, it's for everyday life.
Well, we carry the G wherever we may be, so creamy and cold. From the land of the green and gold.
Available throughout Wisconsin. 21 plus. Drink responsibly.
It's the greatest story in sports.
Star dropping straight back. Kennedy throws, has the ball. It is a touchdown.
I'm Doug Russell, and this is Tales from 1265, an insider's look at football's most storied franchise. A franchise that has had its dynasties.
This is the first Super Bowl trophy, and it's something Green Bay can keep. We're going to have a new trophy each year.
And its rebirths.
Every major football decision will be made by Ron Wolf.
I realize I'm a Green Bay Packer now, and maybe I can prove that I am worth the first-round pick next year, but just got to be patient.
But I was really impressed with the coaching staff, with the whole organization, and with the direction the team is going. I think they have a total commitment to winning.
Tales from 1265 is presented by Nicolay Law, your local award-winning injury lawyers. If you've been injured, get Nicolay, Wisconsin's winning team of lawyers that will get you back in the game. Tales from 1265 is a production of iHeartRadio Podcasts and is available on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Music, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
This is No BS with Billy and Armen on Wisconsin's home for the best sports talk and other stuff. The Game.
Just take those old records off the shelf. I sit and listen to them by myself. Today's music ain't got the same soul. I like that old time rock and roll. Don't try to take me to a disco. You'll never even get me out on the floor.
No BS on the game. Billy and Sarian with you. What's up?
We haven't gotten into a lot of our texts yet, and we're going to. We're getting a lot of great texts today. 262 says we got Minnesota slang. I don't know what's going on here. I listen to you guys, my earbuds, and my truck radio stuck on 106.1. That's okay. Both great stations. Sometimes I get overlap and hear you guys in both stations. I think he's talking about that we do the hit.
About game time, yeah.
Your Minnesota slang is rough. Hold on.
Oh, I knew none of that nonsense.
Oh, okay.
I knew none. Did you already forget?
No, I thought he meant that we have accents like Minnesota. I thought he was trying to roll up. No.
Oh, is this from the game?
Well, we
From
did
game time, yeah.
We played a game with Scott and Shannon.
Oh, yeah.
About Minnesota's sayings.
Sure.
I
knew none of them.
No, that's cool. Don't worry about it.
Ulfdal or something.
Who cares? Minnesota sucks. My point is this.
Wow.
I thought he was saying that I sound like a guy from Minnesota. I totally misunderstood. I forgot what was going on.
I'm so mad.
Because I was so worked up about this LSU deal and all the other stuff we've been talking about. Plus, I'm still mad about Marquette losing overtime. And I kind of was losing focus.
About that one.
And I'm thinking about these things, and there's a lot. And I'm like, is this guy saying I sound like I'm from Minnesota? I was gonna.
Have you ever been maybe more offended than when you thought
you're about to catch these hands? Actually, I've never hit anybody, so I'm not going to fight you.
Don't do that.
So when I say that,
catch these Twitter hands.
When I say that, it's absolutely virtual. Like I don't really give anyone hands.
Awesome.
I don't do hands. I'm not I don't fight.
Don't do hands.
So like
that's also good for
he
the
wasn't
honor.
on the hands team,
but that is on the honor code that you don't do hands.
Yes.
So you could go to BYU.
Yes, thank you.
Could go to BYU. That is very much
outlawed.
outlawed.
What that exactly is.
If you ever hear Armen say,
otherwise known as friend named Jill,
I'm gonna catch these hands, you can kind of chuckle to yourself if you want.
You're catching on to that. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying you can probably chuckle to yourself if you ever hear me say that, knowing that I'm pretty much out of my element saying stuff. But deep down, I don't think I'm gonna give anyone hands. You know.
Real quick about the
throw
Minnesota.
Hands. Let's just say throw hands. Let's stop saying giving people hands.
Giving hands.
Let's go with
catch
that
hands.
one. Yeah, let's
throw
go with that one.
hands.
Sorry, Letty. What about the Minnesota deal?
When I worked in college sports, I got a lot of crap for my accent, and it was like,
well, it makes sense because you're working in Arizona.
And and you get people from all over the country that work with you.
Yeah.
Like when you work at a university, specifically in a college sports department, whether they worked for the basketball team or not, they were from all over the country.
Sure.
So I got a lot of crap for my accent. And the one thing I used to always say is, "Oh, you think ours is bad or mine's bad? We make fun of the people from Minnesota."
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't think we have a Minnesota accent. Theirs is way worse.
Well, some people have a stronger, Youper like up north.
I also just like that you thought there was a tick that he thought you sounded like you were from
That's all it
Minnesota.
took for me. That's all it took for me.
And just set you off.
I don't want to
Didn't
be
even
associated
read
with
it
Minnesota.
correctly, and it set you off. What he was saying is you guys are so bad at knowing Minnesota slang terms.
I get it.
Hey, guilty as charged.
Yeah, no,
guilty as charged. I didn't know any of it.
Hot dish was the only deal I knew. Hot dish was they call casserole hot dish. That's the only
I
deal.
guess it's a hot dish. It does make some sense.
No, it's
casserole's
How do
good
you
though.
know?
I didn't realize. So are they eating more hot dish or casserole in Minnesota than we are?
I think it's just like
That's the only thing I might be jealous of.
Casseroles are
good.
Are popular in these parts. I mean, I grew up eating casseroles. I don't know about you. I don't know that they eat
chicken,
more.
Broccoli,
or better
cream of mushroom soup in there.
If you're trying to cook at home, like we do, like you don't want to go out as much, and you want to make sure you cook it at home is a good thing. You don't spend as much money, but you got to think of recipes every day to make, or you got to think of things to do that you don't get too bored, and you try and mix it up. That's what a casserole
Spice
is.
Things up.
That's what a casserole. And you putting this stuff together, and you putting it in the oven, and boom, there you go, and it's done. I get it.
Janie and Appleton.
Yeah,
Armen. You absolutely sound like northern Wisconsin, northern Minnesota.
It's cool. Like I want to make. Don't the Minnesota? No, let's stop at Wisconsin. Stop with Wisconsin, please. The rest of that, Jenny, I like you a lot, Jenny. Don't don't do this.
Don't make him have a negative thought.
Think some people have stronger Wisconsin accents than others. I always thought
I was up in Eagle River. I noticed it this last weekend.
So I think there are some like that are always more noticeable and stronger than. I always thought I had some of that.
That's everybody.
Right.
That's every kind of
accent. I think generally I have non-regional diction. Generally,
what did you just say?
Yeah, non-regional diction.
You heard it rightly.
I think it seeps in a little bit. Also,
not on the company computer.
As you know, browse in private. As you know, Billy, we've been broadcasting to the whole state for a lot of time, for a long time. So, I'm totally cool with that because I want everyone to know I'm one of you. I'm one of you.
Well, listen,
blue
as
collar.
somebody that very much so takes shots at how my father, who I absolutely adore and love, who might also be helping me out here.
He's helping you out right now, right? As we speak.
As my dad has gotten older, his Wisconsin upper accent has gotten far worse.
It's crystallized. Does that make sense?
He is like chiseled in stone to the point where all of a sudden you'll hear you guys trying to go have one.
Use guys.
Wow.
Hell yeah. That's awesome.
Or oh no. But it's a good thing. It's endearing. Because you know what? That means that you're around people that care about you.
That's the thing. You're around salty people.
I hear that.
Yeah.
Especially if you leave for a certain amount of time, like Letty mentioned, living in Arizona. You hear that, you're home.
You know a guy.
You know that you're there by somebody that cares about you.
And that doesn't even know you that well, that'll do a favor for you.
I also hear
check your pipes, sure. Make sure they haven't frozen and
with your hands or
well, no, come on. Come
oh my God.
I mean like
why?
Because you know what I mean?
You do this to me.
Really.
Why do you do this to me? No one knows what you're talking. No one knows what you mean.
Yes, they do. Most people aren't doing a favor, like make sure your mailbox is closed. Pipes. I said pipes. I said plural pipes.
Got two of them.
Now I went to a college with I'm gonna shout him out here, but I don't know if this is not meant as an insult, but a good buddy of mine, Peter Berg, had a strong accent, and I think being 4 years at Marquette and in Milwaukee for a while, lost it. Now he's back up in Kimberly. And it's recrystallized a little bit more. Billy, all right, come on. Everyone knows when I say check your pipes, they mean so it doesn't freeze, and they're doing a favor for you.
Definitely. And listen, that's like when I hear somebody with a Louisiana accent, one thing you're gonna have some good food, and that they're definitely about taking care of people.
Absolutely,
good,
Louisiana.
Good
we'll get back on this.
Taking care of people.
Yeah.
You had a great statement during the break.
Well, we're talking about the Louisiana deal and Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin. All right. And I understand the idea of coaching carousel season, looking for jobs. But the tough part now is, like you said, Billy, is the timing of it, the cycle. And if you take a new job now, why you have to do it now? Because you have to sign a new high school class and all that stuff. But now we have extended playoffs. Taking new jobs and things like that. And sometimes you have no choice. Back when it was bowl season, a lot of guys would go because you have a full month off and you have one game that may or may not be an exhibition, depending. So it made a little more sense there. But now you have the playoff. You're Lane Kiffin. You're back in the SEC. You're at Ole Miss. So there's got to be a point where we ask ourselves, if you're going to be leaving during playoffs or before a playoff run, then what's the point of this whole thing? Like, what's the point? What is the point of coaching and trying to build a program if you're not even going to see it through and try and win a championship?
Happiness.
First of all, besides the fact that no matter where you go, players and coaches and alumni, how could they ever believe you when you leave during a playoff? How can they ever believe you?
Yeah.
You're sitting there, you just left a team that you try to build, but right before the playoffs. And at some point, it's like, what's the point? Like, what besides like getting a new job and to make more money and recruiting and stuff? Eventually, there has to be some point where you get to somewhere you say, I'm actually trying to build something to see it through. If I go work in a restaurant, I'm trying to cook a meal right before it comes out of the oven. The best part, I'm going to throw it away and leave. Like, at some point, that's the reason you're doing this, is to coach and to compete in the most important games and to try and win a championship and to try and see if what you were trying to build this whole time actually comes to fruition, right?
They're in the midst of the greatest season Ole Miss has had football-wise in like 60 years.
Yeah.
And that's where I totally get. They're like, hey, man, or get off the pot. Okay, do it or not. Whether you want to do this or not, we're here loving ball, pumping cash into your program, because they've definitely been one of the top teams supporting the NIL.
Which makes a big difference.
Right away. And they've kind of had a leg up on different teams because they had their money in line, set in stone right away. Kiffin was a big part of that. And he was a big part of lining up all of their NIL stuff.
And he's coached the team well, too.
And now you're there. And Armen, I'm right there with you. Like, you're this close. You got a team that very much could beat anybody in the country. You beat Georgia a year ago. You could beat, you almost did again this year. Your top 6, whatever it is, you're going to get a home game in the playoffs, and then you're going to get a chance to go win a national title. But will this job come open again on the other side? Yeah. And will LSU be available the next time? Will Florida be available the next time? Because like you just mentioned, and what you just said is very, very true. And I totally get it. And I'm right there with you. I'm wondering if I'm a recruit. I mean, I get that many people believe all of it's all about money. The real money is in the second contract in the National Football League. So Lane Kiffin's pumping guys into the league.
Sure, absolutely.
Putting guys into the NFL. I know that he can help me in that regard. But I know there's a lot of guys that can put guys into the NFL. And if I have the opportunity to go play at one of those schools, odds are I can go play for Kalen DeBoer and he's going to have a chance to put me in the NFL. Yeah,
there's a lot of SEC schools.
He's going to have a chance to put me in the NFL.
If you're a 5-star going to the SEC and being recruited by everybody.
I think some of the playing field is somewhat leveled at this point. And everybody's got crazy amounts of money. I know there's built-in advantages at LSU in Florida. Hell, the stadium's almost twice the size of where they play for Ole Miss. But you do play to win the games. You've won most of your games. At some point, are you going to go and build something that's going to be as good as this one is right here, right now?
Yeah, don't you at some point want to find out if this team that you built is going to be a winner or try and become a winner? Or isn't the whole point of this to try and win, to get to this point, to try and win these games? Like, I understand the desire, the reasoning you might want to take a new job, and those things are normal. I understand that, but okay, if you take the next job, is that going to be the one where you don't be looking for like, at what point is it like, I'm going to actually try and become a champion?
Would you hang the fraud tag on
in these sports? I mean, it's hard to not look at it that way when you got a guy that's going to sell all these things to you as an alumni, a fan base, a booster group, an administration, new players, parents. They're like, well, we want to build it. What's your goal? My goal is to help your son. Great. And to win a championship. That's what most coaches say. Well, you just left the team when you were about to try and win. So you can't be that competitive if you are willing to do that. Like, that's hard for me to not equate it to in my mind. It's like, and it's also like, why would you want to leave at that point when you've done all the work to build something to try and win these games? Like, don't you want to coach in these games and try and become a champion with the team you just built? And we look at them as commodities sometimes, just pieces like Madden pieces. No, that's like 60, 80 players you built a relationship with that you've helped develop and coach that you're looking in the eye every day, and their parents you at some point did.
Mm-hmm.
You want to see if you guys can fulfill this dream that supposedly you've been building and trying to sell us on and trying to work towards. And I'm assuming, because this is coaching, have sayings and platitudes and cliches and wearing shirts every day that said win every day or some.
Oh, yeah.
You know what
Absolutely.
I mean?
Yes, they got their sayings.
So at some point, why are we doing this thing? Like, at some point, what is the point of this if we're not trying to actually play and win championships? And you're just going to leave before the playoffs start?
To your point.
I don't get why you'd want to do that. I don't know.
We all have our sayings. Lane Kiffin has he's done a lot of work on himself with all the things that have happened.
He had a lot of problems, had to rebuild his career. I get all that. So I understand the desire in that.
He posts a saying every single day, and yesterday's saying from a book that, gives you maybe a motivational message each day for all 365 days of the year. Yesterday was day 224.
Are these scheduled, by the way? They gotta be, right?
I would think so.
That I don't know, Letty.
Okay, sorry.
Some of the very best parts of your life begin to flow right after you give up. After you give up on trying to be something you're not, in placing in other people's opinions higher than your own, you stop trying to live out the plan that you have outgrown. You stop trying to make the wrong pieces fit. Sometimes holding on isn't about muscling through, but knowing what you are meant to release along the way.
And what does that mean? And nobody knows, and that's the point. He loves doing this, right? He loves having everybody in the palm of his hand. Humans are obsessed with power at some point, and he knows he has power in it. 1 hour ago.
At the end of the day, this is day 225. This is today, just an hour ago.
Yeah, I saw this. Love each other.
At the end of the day, we are all looking for a soft place to land, arms that want to hold us, and someone who is willing to listen. We all just want to be loved. We all just want to be known. Remember that when you are struggling to understand someone, Armen, find compassion. We're not
Thank you.
So different on the inside, although the surface may tell a different story.
And why is that? Is that the
Lane
flag
Kiffin.
of flag of Trinidad and Tobago? I think that is in that post. He said, "Love each other, life is short, blue heart, red heart, Trinidad and Tobago."
Mm-hmm.
Am I wrong?
Yeah, that is Trinidad.
What's the deal with that? What am I missing? I mean, am I missing something?
I don't know. I thought is that the flag of Mississippi?
Oh, maybe that looks like the Mississippi flag.
I think it might look like the state of Mississippi flag.
I was like, is he on vacation?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're supposed to interpret what then as a Minnesota fan or Mississippi fan? That he's staying? That I'm a soft place to land?
Hold on.
I just want to be loved more.
Just want to be loved.
Well, you're not being loved enough, Lane Kiffin. Is that the problem?
I just want to be loved. I just want to be loved.
I bet your coaches and fans do too, and your players do too.
I think he's feeling the love right now.
So
I think he's definitely feeling the love.
So
that I don't know.
Why
he's feeling the love by 3 different fan bases and 3 different administrations. They're flying his ex-wife around on a private plane to go scout out where he wants to coach and live. Like, again, I know I would. It is a tough message to be sending to your football team, but I can see. Listen, people enjoy being pursued. Lane Kiffin enjoying it a little too much.
He loves it.
They've said we need an answer by next week Friday.
Social media's done this too.
It goes till next week Friday. Goes to a week from Friday when the Egg Bowl goes down.
We're playing chicken first, Billy.
Oh my gosh. These message boards are going to be the craziest thing you've ever seen. And I'm, for one, not getting off. I am going right back to the On3 message board to go and enjoy watching LSU, Georgia, or Florida fans and Ole Miss fans lose their collective minds all day long.
But
it is very, very peak
it's kind of crazy because, like, you take a job and then you might take a new job with the eventual goal, you would think, to win a championship, to build
ultimately
something,
win.
Like, that's what you're selling to everybody because that's what everybody wants. Their fan base wants. That's why they're hiring you. But it's like, by the way, I left before I played these games. So weird to me. What is the point?
So what's your playoff record? 0-0. I thought you guys were in the playoffs.
Well, we were good enough, but
we are right now. Well, they are.
I'm the type of chef that builds something. So right before the meal's going to come out, I'm just going to get out of here. And then I don't know what I'm going to throw the pie in the garbage that I just made. Also, like, what has social media done to us?
Let somebody do something else.
That we've turns all grown ass men into like little teenage girls. Let's say, like,
well, Lane Kiffin's daughter does have a very successful TikTok page, and I think he's maybe taking some inspiration from her.
How about you just stop putting passive aggressive notes out there on the internet and just talk like a regular person and just say stuff like a regular person? It's too fun for you to do this, I guess.
As I think it through, those aren't scheduled.
No, you're probably right. I mean, it'd be too well planned.
877-794-1973.
I just don't get it. I don't know.
Yeah, listen, I think that's where everybody's at. It's hard to understand. Like Danny P in the Sauce said, Armen is right. It's about building and winning. I think one thing to fix this would be to have a start date of locking in high school players and recruits and transfer portal take place after games are played, including playoffs. No hiring or firing until then. Danny P.
Makes sense.
Well, that just makes way too much sense. So definitely not going to happen.
Red Hot Tip not.
Definitely not going to happen. That makes all the sense in the world. And everybody has only asked for that to be instituted, so it's definitely not going to happen.
Armen needs those daily quotes so he stops wanting to give hands to people. Yeah, they calm me down these hands, man.
Calm those hands down. We're going to take time out. We're going to come back. We're going to talk to to Matt LePay about this coming up in about 40 minutes from right now. I know he's got thoughts on the landscape of college sports, but this one in the SEC very much could happen in the Big Ten. Who knows? And everyone's still quiet on that Penn State front. Big game coming up as the Badgers have senior night on Saturday night. Saturday night's good for fighting with the old ball coach. Brett Bielema brings his Fighting Illini into Madison. We'll talk about that, amongst other things, with Matt LePay. We're back before then with Jordan Love next on The Game.
Miss an hour of no BS?
Honestly, Billy, I don't think you'd miss it.
You can find all of the shows in podcast form. Just search No BS on the iHeartRadio app. It's Border Battle Week. Stay with the game as we get you ready for the Packers and Vikings.
From 27 yards, left hash. Snap good, spot down. Walsh's kick is up, and it is no good. He missed it. Are you kidding me? The season can't end like that. He missed it left. And the Seattle Seahawks are off to Charlotte. 10-9. Favre goes back to pass. He pumps. Now he fires over the middle. Intercepted. I can't believe what I'm seeing right now. It was intercepted by Tracy Porter, near side to the 40, and John Sullivan runs him down at the 47-yard line. You've got to be kidding me. I can't believe what I just saw. Looking at that play, he should have just held on to it, Paul. He should have. He could have easily got 5 or 6 yards if he would have just pulled that thing down and dove forward. But why do you even ponder passing? I mean, you can take a knee and try a 56-yard field goal. This is not Detroit, man. This is the Super Bowl.
Welcome to Rivalry Week. Welcome to the border battle. CJ in Columbus said, I think there's one in Arizona where he says the kick is good and the Vikings kicker ended up missing it. CJ, your memory is correct.
High snap, put down. Joseph, come on! It is good! No, he missed it. Good. Are you kidding me? He missed it right. He missed it right. Oh, my kidding me? Oh, my. This, you missed it right. What a gut punch to a team. Ball that play after play toward the end fought its way back. Missed it by like a foot. And
Wayne also told us about that one because of where they were. He's like, you can't see the numbers, you can't see the kick, whatever it ends up being. But it is just a hilarious moment. But it's not even my favorite Paul Allen call that involves
Arizona.
The Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah. Run, PA. 17, 16, 15.
See, they have to go deep into the end zone.
We better put some people in the end zone, right, Joe?
That's exactly right.
I mean, there's nobody inside the 10.
Get back there.
Here it is. The season's on the line. 2 receivers left and right. McCown takes the snap. He steps up. He's all by himself. Fires into the end zone. Caught! Touchdown! No! No! The Cardinals have knocked the Vikings out of the playoffs. I believe it was caught by Nate Poole.
It was.
He's being mugged by his Cardinal teammates. They're Minnesota Vikings crying on the field.
Oh, and we love to see that part, Paul. Thank you for that last little drop. And thank you to our sister station, KFAN, for all of that illustrious audio.
Listen to No BS with Billy and Armen every weekday from 6 to 10 right here on The Game.
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1967.
Van Morrison, formerly of the band Them, has a number 10 hit as a solo artist with Brown Eyed Girl. In July, LA band The Grassroots scored their first top 10 hit with Let's Live for Today, and UK supergroup Cream, featuring guitarist Eric Clapton, toured the US for the first time.
In the sunshine of your love.
And in September, Janis Joplin's band Big Brother and the Holding Company signed with Columbia Records and released their debut album. October of '67, Memphis band The Box Tops, including 17-year-old gravel voice singer Alex Chilton, have a number 1 hit with The Letter.
Yeah, ticket for an aeroplane. Ain't got time to take a fast train. Lonely days are gone, I'm a going home. My baby just took me a little. My baby just took me a little.
And in November, the first issue of Rolling Stone magazine is published in San Francisco, featuring an interview with John Lennon. The Who have their first and only U.S. top 10 hit with I Can See for Miles. In December, they smashed their instruments on the Smothers Brothers TV show.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1967, coming up.
We call it Wagertainment.
All right, place your bets,
VSiN, every night at 6. Presented by Potawatomi Sportsbook. Bet above the rest on Fox Sports 920.
iHeartRadio. Soundtrack. Flashback.
Shaft hit theaters in 1971, and its soundtrack by Isaac Hayes grabbed a few Grammys and an Academy Award for Best Original Song, the theme from Shaft.
Who's the black private dick? That's a sex machine to all the chicks. You're damn right.
For more great movie soundtrack hits, check out Popcorn Radio on the iHeartRadio app.
She wore a raspberry beret The kind you find in a second-hand store. Raspberry beret. If it was warm, she wouldn't wear much more. Raspberry beret. I think I love her. Built like she was, but she had the nerve to ask me if I planned to do her any harm. So look here, I put on the back of my bike and we went riding down my old man Johnson's farm.
Welcome back to the show. It's No BS on the Game. That's Armen Sarian. I'm Billy Schmidt. Andrew Ludwig back on the bumps here on the program. You're on the NicoletLaw.com talking text line, which is 877-794-1973. Yesterday, Jordan Love spoke on a number of different things, including his his left shoulder, I should say, injury sustained in the New York Giants game. Any concerns on that shoulder limiting you this week going into divisional play with Minnesota?
Practice? Yeah, no. I'm not going to get into the details of everything, but shoulder's feeling good. Obviously practice day, feeling good. So, we'll be good going forward.
Emmanuel came in here as an undrafted guy at a D2. How have you seen him grow into a guy that can really step in when a guy like Josh goes down? Yeah, I think, he's been a guy who's, I think it's tough in the situation anytime, like I've said before, where you're just not getting as many reps. But I think he's somebody that's been dialed in at all times and learned from, the opportunities he has had out there. And I feel like he's just got better and better every time. And obviously, I think his understanding of the offense is, at an all-time high right now. And it's definitely something that I think everybody's kind of pushed him for. And he's responded well. So, I think obviously with Josh going out last game, it was good to see him out there. And I think he's a guy he's made some big-time plays when his number's been called.
What do you have to do to be really productive against a Brian Flores defense?
Yeah, it's a defense we've seen a good amount over the last couple of years. And, it's a very good defense. I got a lot of respect for him and what they do, where they throw a lot of different looks at you. And, I think they try and make it tough on offenses to figure out what they're doing and kind of get a beat on what they're throwing at you. But a lot of different personnel, a lot of different, pressures, things like that. So something you just got to, study throughout the week a good amount and understand that there'll be some wrinkles in there and you never really know what to expect when you get to the game. But just have a plan for a little bit of everything and just, stick to our rules and our fundamentals as an offense.
Does it feel like it's been a minute since you played a division game?
Definitely. Yeah, it's been a weird schedule for us, playing obviously week 1 division game and now I don't even know what week it is, 12. Yeah. And so it's been a long time. So it's felt weird. And obviously we'll have, a couple back-to-back right now. So I'm definitely a stretch that we'll have to, take advantage of.
I was looking at league-wide. It appears they're doing a lot of that backloading divisional schedules for a lot of teams. Do you think that adds some intrigue where going into this late in the season, really it's still anyone's division when it's made that way on the schedule?
Definitely. I think you look at the teams in our division, everybody's in it. Everybody's kind of got similar records. And obviously, like you said, we'll be playing everybody here at the back half. So definitely some games we're going to have to go out there and win. But like you said, the NFC North is wide open. And we have to take advantage of these games, go out there and go win it. But, yeah, like you said, it's an interesting schedule.
Back to the shoulder, does it, other than you not wanting to get hit there, does it limit you at all? I mean, it's not your throwing shoulder, so that doesn't really come and go. Play out, does it? No. I mean, obviously being the left side, it's something that you don't have to worry about. If it was the right side, it'd be a different story, throwing the ball wise. But you just gotta try not to take as many hits and obviously be smart. Scrambling and getting outside the pocket, things like that, not taking any unnecessary shots.
How hard is it to decide? Sorry, go ahead. No, go ahead, Rex.
As far as Chris Brooks, what did you think of that pass rep he had against? On the play that led to Savion's catch, and also just what's the value of having someone like that can hold up in that kind of protection? Yeah, no, it's awesome. I think as a running back, being able to step up and take on a linebacker right there coming at you full speed is big time. But it's something that we practice throughout training camp when these guys are doing one-on-one pass pro. And something that he takes a lot of I don't know what the word is. That's what he kind of prides his game on, is being able to come in those situations. And obviously, he wants to be able to run the ball and catch the ball. But when you do stuff like that and put it on tape, I think it gives everybody more confidence to keep giving you the rock and give you some more opportunities. But Chris is a guy that it's whatever it takes. He's
kind of earned his way in here and done some great things for us. But, that was a really big time rep by him and obviously led to, a big time play down the field. So that's, it's just the mindset he has, whatever it takes, he'll go out there and do it.
Do you see that in real time, that block, or did you not see it until on film?
No, yeah, I don't see that in real time. That's one thing that, you come back to the sideline to see the pictures of it. And then obviously after the game you see, but, that was big time. He had a couple other, pass pro reps that, he's able to come across and see some pressures that might be hard to see for other guys. So he's done a great job in pass pro.
Jordan, overall, how do you feel the operation went with Sean Ryan, first full game at center? Just how did that connection kind of go through the last game?
Yeah, no, it was good. I think there's stuff to build on in terms of just, having a clean operation of us with our changes. But as far as, making calls, things like that, I think he did a good job of communicating to other guys, make sure we're all on the same page. And there'll be stuff for him to, build on personally, obviously. But, it's a good test. Obviously, Dexter Lawrence, he's going up against a really good guy kind of sitting right in his lap the whole game. So it was a good test for him, but I think he did a good job.
Back to the Toyotathon, Jordan. I know it's kind of silly in a way. What do you think of all that? It is a big talking point. I don't know if you think about it all, but
no, I think it's just something that's cool. It's just something that obviously I think that the fans kind of took it and ran with it, and made it a thing. And so now it's here. But I think it's definitely interesting. You look at the stats and things like that. It's a wild scenario, but I think it's cool. And obviously some cool things have happened off of it.
So it's apparently, according to Toyota, it actually started last Sunday. So you've got 30 touchdowns and 2 interceptions during Toyotathon. I don't care about the Toyotathon, but it is the second half of the season, which is the point of my question here. Why do you seem to get so much better as the season goes on?
Yeah, I think that's for everybody on our offense. I think we start to get in a better groove and start to get in that rhythm of making plays and going out there. And, I think for me is just understanding, I've been through some games now throughout the season and understanding what I need to do in kind of every situation, just being smart with the ball, and finding completions at all times, and then guys just making plays. But I think as the season goes on, I think we, build that confidence, getting a little bit of a groove in all phases, and go out there and make plays.
Matt said earlier that Minnesota's defense is really good at forcing fumbles, applying pressure to the quarterback. What challenges do you think that Minnesota will present this Sunday? Yeah,
I always think it just starts with the different looks they present, pre-snap and obviously post-snap with the different pressures they bring. And it's one of those defenses that I think they're always applying pressure to the offense, and you got to be able to respond. And like you said, take care of the ball. I think they do a good job hunting the ball. And I think some of just the confusion they try and create and the chaos they try and create, kind of forces quarterbacks to make some bad decisions sometimes and get sped up with some of the pressures. So obviously, you just got to be smart with the ball, understand kind of what the different pressures they're bringing, the different looks I'm seeing, and knowing where to go with the ball and finding completions.
Obviously, Jaden didn't practice today yet, but he posted on social media a picture of him in full uniform. Mm-hmm. Have you talked to him a lot, and how much is he itching to get out there, A, and B, what does he mean to your offense when he is on the field?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, he brings a very dynamic aspect to our offense. And, I think you've seen that over the last couple of years with him here. He's a playmaker. And obviously, I think, the last play of this season for him that he played before he got hurt was a touchdown, that, obviously got called back. But definitely just a playmaker that we've been missing. So, I don't know what the timeline is for him. Obviously, he's itching. He's ready to get back. And it's been doing some good things on the side as well. But, it's obviously a different offense when you have all your playmakers out there. So we've been missing him, and obviously can't wait to get him back.
In terms of running down the field, how hard is it to want to go out of bounds, to want to slide? Like on the hit you took on your left shoulder, it's one that in hindsight, I shouldn't have done that. But in the moment, how hard is it to not want to get those extra yards?
Yeah, it's hard. I think it's just a situation. And I think in that one, I tried to pump fake and thought I got the guy to get off his feet. And he did a good job of not really going for it. And I kind of got caught after that. So it's tough. It's a tough situation. But I think at all times, you just got to be smart. I think, taking a hit like that, puts it back in perspective. Like, I don't want to take these shots and I got to get down and things like that. So, you just always got to have in the back of your mind, be smart. Obviously, there's situations where, sometimes it's needed. You got to try and go get that first down. But in that situation, you just got to be smart. But, taking a hit like that definitely always, kind of wakes you back up and be like, hey, let's be smart. Let's slide and not take some of those shots.
Did the ref or the official say something to you? Because I thought for a second he told you to go get checked out. Was that part of it, or did he signal?
Yeah, he did. He thought that he said by the look in my eye, he thought it might have been a headshot and a maybe concussion. So he wanted me to go and do the concussion protocol that they do. So I think it was normal for him. And, I was trying to tell him that it wasn't my head, but you're not going to win that one. So, just went out there. But he thought I might have taken a shot to the head.
So if he didn't tell you, hey, you got to go out, what would you?
Yeah, I don't know. I think after I got up and moved around, I would have started feeling that a little bit. But, it's tough to say. But, I think I probably would have ended up right where I was. Who knows when, though.
What's your confidence level in Luke?
Yeah, it's good. Obviously, like we've talked about before with Tuck being down, he's going to have more opportunities. And, I think it's something we just got to keep building on with him. But I think he's been a guy who's made a lot of plays, and now it's just got to keep translating to the games and things like that. But he's done some good things, and I think we just got to keep building. And I think for him, it's having that confidence when he goes out there with everything he does, that he can go make plays. But everybody's confident, Luke.
So even when he's a game like he had the other day, your confidence doesn't waver?
No, I mean, it's one of those things, like I said, with anybody, a drop pass or, things like that. You just got to play that next play. I think building guys up and always giving guys confidence, I think is always the way to go, no matter who it is. So I think it's something that we'll just keep building with him. But no matter who it is, if it's me, having turnovers, I gotta have those guys around me that trust me to keep going out there and making plays and know that the ball's gonna keep coming to you. You just gotta keep finding ways to improve and get better and better.
Is Josh kind of an interesting addition for you guys as far as what he can do? With that H background, I know Josiah did.
Wiley?
Yeah. And how he can kind of fit into like multiple spots.
Yeah, no, it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, came in as a tight end, but I think any way you can get on the field and make plays will be important. And if that's what it is kind of being a hybrid, kind of F, kind of Y role. It's it's whatever it takes. And I think that's his mindset too. Trying to get on the field. And obviously, he had a pretty cool touchdown last week. So stuff to keep building on with him. But I think he's done some good things as well. And if he's got to play fullback, I think he'll have the right mindset to go out there and do it.
You're no stranger to poor weather games, to wind and cold. But when you're able to have as many passes downfield last week that just are on the money, what does that do for your confidence and maybe your play caller's confidence in doing more of that, even though it's getting colder and windier?
Yeah, I think for, first off, as the player, throwing it, I think it just, builds you up and gives you more confidence to keep throwing it the way you are. I think if you have a couple balls that come out, not the right way, you might be like, oh, I got to maybe adjust some things, and you might be thinking about it a little more. And then if you don't have that, you're just confident and just go out there and play. And that was kind of my mindset pregame is obviously it's going to be windy, and I just got to, trust my fundamentals and understand how I got to throw it and just got to come out as a tight spiral. If it doesn't, that wind will get to it a little bit. So, and then like you said with Matt, I think, he comes out and he sees I'm confident, feeling good, throwing the ball downfield, things like that. He'll continue to call those deep shots and, won't let the wind kind of be a factor for us.
There is quarterback Jordan Love yesterday after practice for the Packers as they get ready to take on the Minnesota Vikings. The command and control, not only in the pocket, but in front of the microphone, vastly different Jordan Love year 3 than year 1.
Yeah, absolutely. And I thought it was interesting. Well, I don't know if it was intentional, but he said that those guys need to trust me. Talking about making sure I don't turn the ball over. I'm like, no, you're not reading the internet, are you? You're not reading all these thousands of articles.
He's
and
not
Rex
reading,
Ryan
but I
saying,
imagine his wife's reading some of it.
It's hard to totally stay away from it at one point. Wherever you go, there's a TV on. And if Rex Ryan's can get up or ESPN's got a thing that says, is Jordan Love trustworthy? You start seeing those things. Now, I'm reading into it too much. He just used one word and one phrase in many words and phrases during
it's a word that I think a lot of fans have also been asking for too, like wanting to see Matt LaFleur continue to trust him with even more of the offense, more of an opportunity to throw the ball. So
and teammates and things like that, which how you define trustworthy and trust and things, I always think is kind of funny because it's such a subjective
buzzword though right now.
But it is a buzzword right now. And even your quarterback, you want to know that those guys can count on you to bring them down to win. And that's the reality of it. And to put you in the best position to win those situations. So I understand the desire to get there as a quarterback, but I think he's got good command of this offense right now, Billy. I agree. I think this team's got to do some of these things on offense better, more consistently when they get the ball. And then they got to get the ball more. I think there's a lot of factors there, but good stuff from Jordan Love there.
Very, very good stuff. And also, I thought it was very interesting when he's talking about Luke Musgrave. You got faith in Luke Musgrave still? Absolutely.
You got to.
He's got to catch the football. He's just got to catch the football.
You can't play the position not. If your guy's open and he's running the route and he's there, you got to make the play and you got to throw it to him. And he's got to catch the football, Billy, as you said.
Amen to that. And we will continue on the conversation as Packers get ready to take on the Minnesota Vikings. One part of the Vikings injury report to make sure that we keep an eye on throughout the week, give you an update there, as well as the Packers first back at practice yesterday. Couple of updates for the Packers before we flip it back to the Badgers conversation when Matt LePay joins us at the top of 8. It's No BS on the Game.
97.3 The Game. This is what's trending in Milwaukee now.
There are just 2 games left in what can fairly only be described as a disappointing Wisconsin football season. But there are games where it feels like there was some momentum heading into halftime, only to see the final 30 minutes go south. Why is that?
Some of that is we've lost a coin toss and not been what we want it to be, where we can actually get the ball to start the second half. And some of it is our defense goes out there and not say a tough situation, but in a situation where we really need you guys to step up and kind of get this second half going, and we did.
Wisconsin football coach Luke Fickell. Saturday, his Badgers play host to Illinois. Kickoff is at 6:30. The Packers return to the practice field on Wednesday ahead of Sunday's home game against the Vikings. Sunday's game will be the first of 3 straight against division opponents. Running back Josh Jacobs did not practice on Wednesday, but Coach Matt LaFleur did not rule him out for Sunday's game. I'm Doug Russell on the Game Radio Network.
I'm from Milwaukee, and I ought to know why Black's beer tastes great wherever you go. All Black's is draft brewed, that's why you hear. Black's is Milwaukee's finest beer. Draft brewed Black's, Milwaukee's favorite premium beer. Now at local prices.
iHeartRadio is the easy-to-use app for music and radio. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Daryl Hall to ask how it's going since the opening of Daryl's House Restaurant and Live Music Club.
Ask anybody. Owning a restaurant and or bar and or club is not the easiest thing in the world to do. I recommend that you don't bother trying. It's hard, man. I have a lot of people around here that I'm learning to trust, trying to trust. I have a tendency toward micromanagement because I like everything to be done my way. And at a certain point, you have to let that go because I just don't have the time. There's too many little things that happen and big things that happen. But all in all, having said that, I'm having a great time. It's a fantastic experience because anything intense is good for me. And here I am, working away.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Daryl Hall and all your favorite artists.
Just inches, 16 seconds remaining. Here are the Packers. 3rd down, inches to go. To pay dirt. 17-14. Cowboys out in front. Packers trying for the go-ahead score. Starr begins the count. Takes the snap. He's got the quarterback sneaking. He's in for the touchdown, and the Packers are out in front. 20-17. There's 13 seconds showing on the clock, and the Green Bay Packers are going to be world champions, NFL champions for the 3rd straight year.
Classic Cuts.
Although Elton John made Your Song a hit, the romantic sentiments in the song are not his. The lyrics belong to Elton's longtime collaborator, Bernie Taupin, and he isn't particularly proud of them.
When I wrote that song, I was barely 17 years old. The kid that wrote that was very much the character in the framework of the song. I was incredibly naive. I was starting out.
And you can tell everybody this is the song. It may be quite simple, but now that it's done, I hope you don't mind. I hope you don't mind what I put down in the words. How wonderful life is while you're in the world.
The Pack will try to win back-to-back games Sunday against the Vikings at Lambeau. Hear all the action on 95.7 Big FM. Presented by Robert Hack Diamonds. Made by Gold. See them in Brookfield or Greenfield.
It's the greatest story in sports.
Starr dropping straight back. Kennedy throws, has the ball. It is the
I'm Doug Russell, and this is Tales from 1265, an insider's look at football's most storied franchise. A franchise that has had its dynasties.
This is the first Super Bowl trophy, and it's something Green Bay can keep. We're going to have a new trophy each year.
And its rebirths.
Every major football decision will be made by Ron Wolf.
I realize I'm a Green Bay Packer now, and maybe I can prove that I am worth the first-round pick next year, but just got to be patient.
But I was really impressed with the coaching staff, with the whole organization, and with the direction the team is going. I think they have a total commitment to winning.
Tales from 1265 is presented by Nicolay Law, your local award-winning injury lawyers. If you've been injured, get Nicolay, Wisconsin's winning team of lawyers that will get you back in the game. Tales from 1265 is a production of iHeartRadio Podcasts and is available on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Music, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Bernie Brewer is going to be in a very unique device.
Message marked urgent.
We're here for you now on the NicolayLaw.com talk and text line.
Hey, I'm just trying to find some answers here.
At 1-877-794-1973.
A shotgun snap to Lovey, bobbles for a moment, now lofts it, right side of the end zone. Watson leaping grab. Oh, sensational touchdown catch, Christian Watson. My, oh, my, oh, my.
No BS on the game. Billy and Sarian hanging out with you as last night. Armen, we touched on it a little bit in hour number 1. Here we are in hour number 2.
Yeah.
Are you coping any better with the L that Marquette took last night at home against Dayton? Because
tough one. It's kind of a tough start to the season, Billy.
3-2. Couple of non-con losses that aren't going to be the worst thing in the entire world, but 3-3, but at some point you kind of got to win a couple of these non-conference games. And they've scheduled, listen, I don't know what the metrics would say. Your boy Kenny would be able to tell me a lot more of the metrics here, but they got to have one of the toughest non-conference schedules in all of college basketball.
Yeah, I mean, they
at
loaded
least
up
from the name brands and the logos that they're taking on. Maybe it hardens you more for the month of January and February.
They've loaded up some tough teams, no doubt about it, and that's okay. That's part of it. You like to play good competition, and you like to try and think to yourself, all right, we can see how we stack up, but you got to win some of them. Part of the problem is if you're thinking already toward March is the relative strength of your conference can change. So, generally when you had the old Big East, you felt like you were going to always have a lot of opportunities to win big games. And you generally have had good enough Big Easts, right? But that's changed a little bit, and the Big East might be a little bit down this year. So the problem is if you start losing too many of these non-conference games and you're trying to make the tournament, you put yourself behind the 8 ball in terms of the metrics, in terms of all that stuff.
Time. Yeah.
You put yourself behind the 8 ball, and you put the pressure on yourself to really win a lot of games in conference to try and put yourself in position to jump up and put yourself in a position to get a tournament bid.
Now,
losing these type of games do not help Billy in that sense.
But scheduling them does, right? Does it help in the metrics that way? Like, we've talked about it a lot in college football.
Oh, yes.
Where with the playoff selection committee, they've really struggled to make sure that they're not de-emphasizing the conference championship game. So like if you play in a conference championship game, it's hard to say that you're not going to be in the playoff because they don't want you feeling like if you go to the conference title game and lose, that can eliminate you from playoff conversation. But when you're looking at like a Texas, they were getting buoyed because of who they scheduled in non-conference. You're seeing a lot of different teams get pumped up because of the non-conference deal. Like
makes a big difference. Yeah.
There's you see it like for Wisconsin and for the other teams in the Big Ten. They're also kind of getting buoyed by the teams that they've been able to beat, but also the teams that they scheduled in non-conference is playing in more and more that even if you lose those games, they're talking about it more glowingly. Like Notre Dame is getting a lot of love and did on Tuesday night for the games they lost, not necessarily the games they won, because they ended up losing to two top, whatever it is, 12 or 13 teams.
So sometimes it sounds counterintuitive, but at least the way it's worked with net rating and some of the Ken Palm stuff the committee looks at in college basketball is that sometimes losing against a really good team will actually bring your level number up rather than beating a bad team. And that's true in college basketball. So you always want to schedule as well as you can. You want to give yourself competition for many reasons. It's just good to play against good teams, but it also helps that regard. But you also want to win some of those games, right? And that's the problem. Marquette has not been able to knock off any of them yet. And that's going to set them behind the 8 ball. So you don't necessarily say, hey, it's bad to play these teams. It's not, of course, but it's good to try and win some of them as well. It's also interesting, Billy, when you schedule your guarantee games against the smaller schools or the schools that have it depends how bad they are too. Like there's 360 D1 teams in college basketball, 365. So if you have a guarantee game against, let's just give an example here, against Binghamton, Gardner Webb, 343rd in the Ken Palm, they're really bad, right? So all these games are not equal versus a Towson that's 136. That's 200 spots higher. So you have to try and be creative in the competition you play there as well. You don't want too many bottom feeders because if you do, it'll bring down some of those numbers. But the reality is on the court, Marquette's not been able to get it done against some of their, what you consider their equal competition, the big, the power conference teams. And it's a little frustrating. It looked like they had a shot to come back last night against Dayton, had the ball.
Looked like it was about to be a classic Shaka team win. Down, scrap. Last year, it felt like they were down in just about every game they played at Fiserv Forum by potentially double digits in the first half.
Came back a lot of those games, were able to figure it out. But this is a different team. This is a team in transition from the really Shaka's first unit of great players that have carried them to these tournaments and things like that. Is this going to
be the biggest test for his not hitting the transfer portal?
And you're already hearing it from fans like, well, this is the problem with this process. This is the problem with this experiment that he's trying of not
fans are already turning on
not using the NIL. Well, you know how it is.
Message boards are getting hot.
All you have to do is lose a couple games and people are like, wow, Shaka's not doing it right. And all these things. Listen, principles, I think everyone loves the noble intention of him not trying to use the transfer portal and just trying to build it a traditional way. People's principles go out the window when their team doesn't win games, and that's how it goes. I still believe in it generally, but the reality is if you're trying to rebuild rosters, and Marquette's lost a lot of their most talented guys, obviously, Cam, Joplin, and Stevie Mitchell, all these guys have moved down.
Years ago,
Kolek, obviously, these great players also, they've moved on to the NBA or other parts. You're going to have a transition period. So if you're not doing the portal every year, you have to be comfortable with the fact that there might be down cycles when you're trying to rebuild a young team. Marquette's got some veterans left, obviously. Ben Gold, Chase Ross, these are the guys that are trying to carry you. And they can, in some extent, they've been playing well. Chase has had a good year, but in terms of shouldering the scoring load. But like last night, Chase Ross has got to be the guy to take the shot at the end of the game.
For sure.
You put yourself in a position, you scrap back. You put yourself in a great position to get the final shot at home in a tie game, and you can't get, that
you can't have the ball for 16 seconds and not shoot.
And that hurts your momentum in the overtime, in my opinion. You go to overtime, you get outplayed by Dayton. Dayton was really good last year. They're going to be good again. That's a program that's always tough, and you have to play really well to beat them, and Marquette couldn't. So they're in a tough spot because, yeah, Billy, you can't lose too many more of these type of
when
games.
he passed it out of the corner to Golden on the wing, like, okay, they're going to go for a 3 to win this thing.
Someone's got to shoot the ball.
Then when my boy Ben Gold didn't even fire it.
Yeah, it's tough.
Oh, with his mom in the crowd, they showed her on TV. I was fired up.
All the way from New Zealand, man. Come on. All the way. That's a long flight. Long flight. It
was right there.
Be the hero, man.
Be the hero. Be that you. Be that you.
But
be
they
that
were
you.
Really struggling all night. I mean, they were up for a while. It was close. Then they were behind most of the second half here.
Never were able to rebound for it. We'll talk more college sports with Matt LePay, the voice of the Wisconsin Badgers. On the other side, that's Armen. I'm Billy. Hour 3 in OBS is next.
Miss an hour of no BS?
Honestly, Billy, I don't think you'd miss it.
You can find all of the shows in podcast form. Just search No BS on the iHeartRadio app. If you missed DND, you missed out on this.
Paul Brettel joining us from ESPN Lacrosse, the Wisconsin State Journal, and NBC 26 on the Packers beat. What's been your assessment through the first half of Matthew Golden's rookie season?
Yeah, it's obviously been a mixed bag, right? I think not just looking beyond the production for him, I think when a lot of those receptions have happened are critical in illustrate where he's at in the offense in terms of understanding and also his trust with Jordan Love. I mean, there was that big fourth down play he had in overtime against Dallas. He's had several big third down receptions throughout the season as well. So I think when the production comes, I think speaks quite a bit to where he's at in the offense. And like I said, that rapport with Jordan Love. And in terms of getting him involved more, right, more regular opportunities, that's so much of that. And the coaches have, LaFleur, Adam Stenovich, Jason Vrabel have all talked about this. So much of it is game plan and matchup oriented. There was this one play against Arizona where Golden caught the crosser and then he ran out of bounds, and it was the one where he ran into the police officer on the sidelines, I believe it was. Vrabel said they dialed that play up for him 3 other times in that game, but because of how Arizona was guarding him or defending that play as a whole, it didn't make sense for Jordan Love to throw the ball there. So just because the ball isn't always finding Golden right now doesn't mean that the Packers coaching staff don't have play calls for him. Doesn't mean that they're not trying to, but so much of what happens on a play is dictated by, all right, what's the defense doing? And one of the things that Jordan Love does do a really good job of is taking what's there, right? All right, what's the defense doing and who's open, regardless of who it is. Could be Christian Watson, could be Malik Heath. The ball most times is going to go to who the open player is. So there definitely is an effort to get him the ball. And I do think with Tucker Kraft being out, and as the Packers look to find ways to recreate that yards after the catch ability that Kraft brought to this offense, I think you're going to look outside the tight end position a bit for some of those opportunities, and getting Golden the ball on shallow crossers, a slant, quick scheme, getting him, finding ways to get him the ball in space can help recreate that element. And then I think that'll also double as a way to get him more involved as well.
Listen to Doug, Nick, and Dave every weekday from 10 to 2 right here on The Game.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Rick Springfield to get some insight on his latest release, Rocket Science.
It's a guitar-based record for sure, and I love big hooks, and not a country record at all. It's a rock and roll record, but it does have some country elements.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from Rick Springfield and all your favorite artists.
Hey everybody, Luddy here for No BS. Guess what? Matt LePay, voice of the Badgers, will join us next. We'll preview the Badgers' last home game of the season, football-wise, that is. Also, Badgers basketball, Friday, against BYU. No sex for those players between now and then, or drinking, or drugs, or really anything. Why would you go to school at BYU? Oh, the NIL. Oh, that's a lot of money. I get it. Well, yeah, Matt LePay will join us next. So stay tuned. And don't you touch that dial.
Classic Cuts.
The title and cover art of Wings' Band on the Run album makes it all seem very criminal. But that's not what Paul McCartney was thinking when he wrote the eponymous song.
I had a song called Band on the Run. I was forming the band. We were getting together, and the song, in writing itself sort of thing, came to that phrase, Band on the Run. And I thought, that's nice, because if it makes it as a recording, it will be a great album title. It will be nice for us as we're going on tour. We can be the band on the run, sort of thing. Because it doesn't always mean on the run from the law. I mean, on the run to me is just like band on the road.
Band on the Run was released in the spring of 1974.
Alzheimer's disease is the 6th leading cause of death in the country, and it's affecting almost 7 million Americans, including 110,000 people here in Wisconsin. UW-Madison is working hard to improve the lives of those affected, offering resources to educate and the latest in research and technology. The UW Initiative to End Alzheimer's has so many ways you can benefit, learn, get involved, and make a difference. Visit goalsforacure.org. That's goalsforacure.org.
What you waiting for? Let's go. Make sure to make us a preset on the iHeartRadio app so you can listen to us anytime, anywhere. Wisconsin's home for sports and stuff. We are The Game.
Message marked urgent.
We're here for you now on the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line at 1-877-794-1973.
No BS on the game. Billy and Sarian with you, waking up in Madison on 1070 The Game. We're going to welcome in the Cooley region coming up here as well. And you can wake up with us on YouTube, X, as well as Facebook and the iHeart Audio app. And that is where you can find, as well as the Varsity app, which I got to tell you, it might be one of the greatest weapons in cellular devices, the Varsity Network app, where you can find basically any game ever in all of college sports produced by Learfield. It is a glorious one. It's one of the best ways to be able to listen to Matt LePay and Mark Tauscher broadcast Badgers football coming up on Saturday night, or Chris Vosters and our friend Brian Butch on Friday afternoon in Salt Lake City. We're joined by the voice of the Badgers, Matt LePay, now on No BS. Matt, I'm telling you, that Varsity app on Saturdays, it is my commuter tool, and I have gotten very, very in tune and in touch with all the different dialects of broadcasters around the country, because I think that's one of my favorite parts is I dip into the SEC, then I'll jump into a Big 12 game down in the heartland of Texas. It's a much different story than when I'm listening to an Indiana game. It's awesome to be able to have all of those calls in one spot, all available for not only Badger fans, but college sports fans.
I'm really glad to hear that I'm not the only nerd for that kind of stuff, because I like to listen to different styles. I do that with baseball, with the NFL, occasionally with the NBA. You just like there's 1,000,001 different ways to do this. And depending on the region of the country, a lot of times, not always, but a lot of times the styles are kind of unique to that part of the world. So, and the best part about this, guys, it's free.
It's free.
We like free.
Yes.
Love free stuff. Love free stuff.
And I think my favorite is listening, not only because I'm nerdy on the play-by-play side, and like you said, you get to see the styles and how people set up the play, and how do you lead the line, the call to the line of scrimmage, and how do you describe, two tight ends to the left side and an offset running back to the right. But I also love hearing the color commentators, because you start getting guys that play, like Mark, who is, Tausch wants the Badgers to win every single play. Let alone every game. He wants them to win every play. Also wants offensive linemen to play every game or every play. One of the reasons why I love it. Then you also have 94-year-old guy who's watching, I don't know, the Missouri Tigers for the 84th year that he's calling games. And the cheers that you get in there, it is incredible. Like the passion, and as much as we talk about all the wild stuff in college sports, the games, I know I sound like a broken record here, Matt, but the games and the passion still feel like they're at an all-time high and continuing to climb right now.
It's an amazing thing, and it is what has saved the college game from those who run it. Because I was telling Drew and KB yesterday, the Pop-Tarts Bowl last December had 6.8 million viewers. It was Miami and Iowa State. I had to look that up. 6.8. The NLCS averaged 4.5. Okay. So, now that was kind of we don't need to recall that series at all, but when I hear people talk about the bowls are about to die, and maybe they are, but in the meantime, they're existing because people tune into this stuff. You're going to get, now, am I one of them? Not a ton. I watched whatever bowl game Illinois was in last year because I like Brett, and it actually was an entertaining game with South Carolina. But people like to, I don't know, Billy, rumor has it that people like to invest in these games, even if you don't know who's going to play in these games because of opt-outs and all of this stuff. And it is
more unscouted looks, more opportunities to make money. No one knows the third string wide receiver like different Varsity Network broadcasters know him.
Yeah,
the inside scoop.
That's true. But I think we do. It's easy to forget sometimes that more than any other sport, college sports has the deepest level of emotional and passionate investment from a group of fans. It might not be, it's like a group of niche fans, right? But it might not be a large, we talk so much about a general audience and a national audience, but no matter what teams are playing in these games, there's a group of fans, and a lot of them where this is like their most important deal. The world revolves around, even if it's Eastern Carolina, there's a lot of people really invested in how to make Eastern Carolina, that their world revolves around making that the best team. And because of that, the passion is there. And right, sometimes what's great about listening to those broadcasts is when you have somebody there on the call that's validating the feelings you feel when watching and listening to them, that can be as fun as anything else. And that's why a lot of times, I know, Billy, you love it, the home broadcast. And that's what makes you guys so good, man. When you guys are calling a game, listening to Tausch or Butch, obviously, is that connection, the passionate, emotional connection. It's visceral, and it's there listening to you guys.
Yeah, I agree with that's the fun part, listening to other broadcasts. I mean, I've become friends with the voice of the Tad, Chris Stewart. I've known him for a long time. He replaced Eli Gold with the football. He's been doing basketball for a long time. So when we landed back in Madison Saturday afternoon after the Indiana game, I punched up on the varsity app and was listening to the Alabama game, and you could just hear, and Chris is a terrific announcer, but there was an intentional grounding call, which oftentimes it's going to be a few beats before the officials throw the flag, like they're surveying, is he outside the tackle box, blah, blah, blah. And you could hear Chris at one point, he's going, just throw the dang flag. And he spoke for every Tide fan out there, and the official listened, and he threw the flag, and it was grounding. But the outcome of the game wasn't great, but the emotional roller coaster that I guess we all go through as team announcers. I mean, the national guys can't do that. They get accused of it, but they just want to put together a good broadcast and then move on to the next one. But with the team broadcasters, there's a little bit more. You hear that with Lev and Grinny, with the on the radio with the Brewers, and obviously with Jess doing the TV and all those guys. But there is something that it's a little biased on that one, but there's something kind of cool. I love listening to the other local broadcast crews.
It's my absolute favorite, and I'm very, very thankful that they put it available for all to be able to get. You mentioned it's free, and also a little plug for NCAA Feast Week coming up. When you're going to get random games at 4 in the afternoon and 8 in the morning, dial that bad boy up and hang out with it all week next week. It's going to be an awesome tool, and all weekend long, because some good games coming up on Saturday. This one at home on Saturday night. We'll get to the Badgers basketball team going against BYU in their second Cougar of the weekend, going up against Brigham Young. This is an interesting spot for Brett's team coming in on the other side, because they went from a top 10 team at one particular point to getting mollywopped on national television to a really outsider's thought, and now they're back into the top 25. Whether or not they can make the playoff might be completely out of the question, but there's a type of season that I think the Illini are trying to finish off. They're one of the most veteran teams in the Big Ten, Matt, and it makes for a very, very good clash of a lot of youth on the Badger side and a lot of experience for a year that hasn't gone exactly according to plan on the other.
But still good. They come in 7-3. They had their dramatic win, a walk-off field goal early in the season against USC. Yeah, the expectations were really high, and even at the time you're going, they're good. Are they playoff good? Well, technically they're still alive for that. But what they're also trying to do, and I didn't realize this, they're sitting here at 7-3. If they get to 9 wins, I think it's the first time in program history they've won at least 9 games in consecutive years. Which, I mean, Illinois, you have to go back a ways, but they've had some good teams through the years. Mike White back in the day. I mean, Ron Zook got him in the Rose Bowl.
Yeah,
we're talking 20 plus years
Juice
ago.
Juice
Williams. Yeah, with a famous game against Ohio State where they went into Columbus on their senior day, Ohio State's senior day, I think, and went in there and beat them. And but they just haven't been able to string together, good years, 2, 3, 4 at a time. And I just think Brett's done a terrific job down there, and he's always gonna downplay this week. He's got a lot of very good friends up here. Still in Madison who stay in touch, in the state of Wisconsin who stay in touch. But I think for him and his team, it'd be pretty meaningful if they could get the 8th win, then the 9th win the following week, and at least be in a playoff conversation. But if nothing else, go to a good bowl game. So this is, on the other hand, I like Brett a lot, but I think it would be really cool to see Wisconsin get another home win against a ranked team, as difficult a task as that might be.
Well, because sorry, Arm, but because when I think of the two, and I don't mean to do this in such a negative light, but I think of 2 of the toughest games over the last decade. I think of the Lovie Smith game, right? Going down there as the 6th team in the country or 5th team in the country. And then the last time they came up here and it ended up being Paul's last game. There's a weird full circle thing that I've been kind of brewing up in my mind over the last couple of days, that there aren't a ton, Matt, of guys that have lived their entire 5 to 6 year life as a Badger. But I think of Daryl Peterson. This is a very meaningful full circle game, it would appear, you would think, to see the old cliche of you always want to leave the program in better hands than when you found it. Now, wins and losses wise, that can't be the case. But for a guy like Daryl Peterson, who has been here from where it started to then where it could be concluding in his final home game, there's a real opportunity for it to be a full circle moment with this new regime and handing it off to a young guard of young Badgers.
Yeah, I think guys like him and Ben Barton, Ricardo Hallman, and some of these Aaron Witts, some of these guys in the home stretch of their college careers, they're demonstrating the importance of just leaving everything out there. And some of these guys, DP had 2.5 sacks against Indiana last week.
Mm-hmm.
Ben Barton has been stringing together some really good games, and that's a pretty cool thing, because when you're getting near the end of your college career in a season that's been a massive disappointment, it would be pretty tempting, I think, to dial it down. But all of these guys, they're also trying to impress scouts. NFL folks are watching. So, I mean, there's a lot of different motivational factors here, but it's really cool. And talking to some of these guys here in the last couple of weeks, if it's a Ben Barton or an Aaron Witt, they're doing a great job of trying to help the younger guys along. I asked Aaron Witt about that a couple of days ago, guys like a Tommy Heiberger and then Catalano and Posa. He says, yeah, I take that role seriously, but one of the reasons I do is they're really good, and you want to be able to help them be even better. So it's been pretty cool to see that in an otherwise really tough year. So hopefully for their sake, they experienced something pretty cool on the field a couple of weeks ago against Washington. It would be nice if they could get that feeling again, knowing that's the last time they're going to be, playing at Camp Randall. But those Illinois games, you're right. I mean, Wisconsin, 2019, they, 4 of their first 6 games were shutouts. And then the recipe of a loss against a team you shouldn't lose to, Wisconsin turned the ball over. They just were sloppy enough, and then Illinois wins on a walk-off field goal. Then the next year, Graham Mertz has his electric game in the COVID opening night of the COVID year.
That's right. Yeah.
And then 2 years later, they got run over. They were standing on the track, and the freight train just plowed them over in what ended up being Paul's last game. So there have been some kind of significant matchups, as you said, here the last few years between these two programs.
But that Washington game is so important because you're trying to, like you mentioned, in a season like this, you're trying to make those memories or trying to create as much momentum positively as possible. And that part of that is going in each week, trying to find a way to win the game and trying to play your best and come up with a game plan. I think getting the result against Washington is so important, because it's a lot easier to buy into whatever you're doing that week, the hard things, the work, the game planning, the film study, the practice, when you know that there's a tangible goal that you can reach. So, we did this. We beat Washington, do this, so we can do this again this week and work toward that. And then we can build momentum to work toward that again. I think that's a huge, huge factor, getting that win.
Yeah, seeing is believing. They've been competitive. They were competitive, especially defensively against Oregon in a game that everybody thought they'd lose by at least 30. And even last week, it's 10-7 at the half, and you're a play here, a play there from making this game interesting even longer, but you give up a big play on a 3rd and 8. You turn the ball over a couple of times. But at least with that game against Washington a couple of weeks ago, they're like, okay, that's a ranked team. They haven't beaten many ranked teams in recent years, but when you're on your game and you get a couple of favorable bounces, let's be honest about it. When you catch a break or two, that you have a chance against these guys. Their thing this week, and it's been the case this year and the last few years now, is can you generate some offense? Illinois comes in here with not the best defense on the planet, but Wisconsin is averaging 12 points a game and less than that in the Big Ten. Can this offense find a way to manufacture some more points than what they've been scoring with the exception of Middle Tennessee. Can they find some ways to get into the end zone, maybe more than once?
Yeah, we'd like to get 2 touchdown Wisconsin calls at least this weekend. Not only because we like hearing you say it, but we like having highlights to play on the post-game show. Matt LePay hanging out with us here on No BS. The other part of it is, and I wanted to know how you thought, I felt like he commanded himself well early. Now, when you get 26 yards of total offense in the second half, nobody acquitted themselves very well against the second-ranked Hoosiers, but that's a wagon. That team actually could win the national title. I didn't think that a year ago. I think they actually could, albeit I don't think anybody's beating Ohio State right now. That's a damn good football team that they played over on the other side. What have you seen from Carter Smith, though? I thought his command to start the game was pretty good, and at least felt like he was confident enough letting it rip a little bit more after having a legitimate week of practice under his belt.
Yeah, I talked to him a couple of days ago, and the second week, knowing you're the starter, he talked about, okay, maybe things can slow down a little bit. He's relied a lot on Kenny Guyton, his quarterback's coach. Kenny was a backup in his time at Ohio State as a quarterback, but he's been there. Billy Edwards helping him along as well. So I think he seems like somebody who's, as much as you can from your first start to the second start, things are starting to make more sense with what they want him to do. The turnovers that he had, the fumble and then the interception, Indiana did what it has done all year. It pays those off. It's able to score off of those turnovers. So I think job one is protect the ball. I don't know how much they're going to have him throw it around, but we've all seen that he's got a lot of toughness to him. He's a runner. Baseball background, by the way. His dad was a minor league pitcher for several years, and he was. I was talking to Carter a couple of days ago, and as like a 14 or 15-year-old, he was throwing 90 plus as a pitcher, and played some shortstop as well. So I asked him, I said, "What's the difference? Why football?" He said he just liked the intensity of the sport more. It's a better fit for his personality than the more level nature you have to have as a baseball player.
Likes hitting people. I like that.
Yeah, he likes hitting people. He doesn't mind delivering a blow now and then, and being fired up about it. So, and I think his teammates can feed off of that. So hopefully, Jeff Grimes can continue to find some ways. I thought he had dialed up some pretty good stuff last week. I mean, it's still, you got to execute on a screen pass that might have gone for a touchdown, but it didn't. The throw wasn't quite there. So hopefully for him, for Carter, for everybody, but especially for Carter, you can exhale a little bit, and just get into the flow of the game and do what you do best. And that's run the offense, and then, occasionally get a throw, hope probably of a safer variety. But somebody like him, I think he could bring that energy in there when things are starting to click with him and gets everybody else fired up.
Yeah, this is an Illinois team that's kind of been, they've been an enigma in some ways. I don't want to say Jekyll and Hyde, but they've looked better or worse in some parts of the year. So it should be interesting to see what's going to happen here. It's funny, you're talking about like Illinois football legacy and stuff, and I always forget that Ray Nitschke and Dick Butkus were played back-to-back linebackers.
Yeah, back-to-back years.
Basically, there was a little gap between them. Mm-hmm. Boy, imagine the letdown after that at the middle linebacker position. You know what I mean? The two best ever, basically. A middle linebacker up there, Ray Nitschke and Dick Butkus. It's hard to remember to forget. You forget that they both played at Illinois. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, that'd be tough. That'd be a tough spot for a Blake Martinez to come in and start making a bunch of tackles 5 or 6 yards down the field.
I mean, man, that's well, we found 2 good ones there.
We got a couple of good ones in there.
Different position, but Larry McCarron, I believe, is in Illinois.
He is. Larry McCarron. Yeah,
yes.
Pretty impressive, obviously. So, do you have any thoughts on this Lane Kiffin deal? We were talking a lot about it today. I just want to know, man. That's all I want to say.
So funny.
Yeah, we thrive on absurdity in college athletics. It's imagine if all of this actually comes to fruition, because when players were opting out of bowl games, that was a jolt for a lot of people. So when that thing started several years ago, and then coaches, we've seen it here. Brett left to go to Arkansas as the Badgers were ready to go to the Rose Bowl. We have seen that. Paul has come here in the left Pitt before he played in a bowl game, and that was kind of weird. But we always wondered, would somebody do this before his team is in the playoffs? The playoffs.
What are we doing this for, right?
I don't. I don't, but it's one of those things that on the one hand is so ridiculous the way the calendar or lack thereof exist in college athletics. But on the other, I think the people who cover it, especially the national folks, they are loving this because you've got stupid content, and that's what this is, stupid. but we're all paying attention, right? What's Kiffin going to do? Is he leaving? Is he going to leave Oxford? Is he going to go to Baton Rouge? Is he going to go to Gainesville? It's that off the field stuff that a lot of folks thrive on. Now, if you're an Ole Miss fan, you probably have a different opinion of all of this. It's crazy, it's absurd, but it's also college athletics, so it's all one and the same.
Matt, I didn't realize that chat boards and message boards were still a thing. SEC message boards are still a thing. Oh
my God!
Okay.
I was jumping on them last night, and it was hilarious to watch. I got sucked into it. I've been on a Viking week. The kids are out of town, and I've been watching way too much Baton Rouge 104 at ESPN. They had guys staked out at the airport watching the entire thing. I mean, it is incredible theater for, like you mentioned, we got a chance to win the national title, but you can't put a price on happiness. Or $14 million could be a price on happiness at any of those institutions.
Don't you hire and get hired with the idea that you're going to build and do the work to get to this point? And that's the part that I just can't get to sometimes.
It just means more unless I can make more going from school A to school B. That would be like, let's say the Packers go on this run.
Right.
They'll lose again. And at the end of the regular season, Matt LaFleur says, you know what? I can make more money going. Let me go coach the Giants.
And leave
I'm going to leave now.
Free agency. You get a jump start on free agency. Want to move into my new office. Get a look at our player personnel. They almost had it with KOC last year with the Minnesota Vikings, where he leaked out that he was potentially going to leave. Paul Allen was pissed. He said, Matt, whoever let that out, shame on them. Shame on you.
That's right.
Shame.
Blame the messenger. No, I mean, like when you get to the conference championship games, the portal's still open or free agency. So I don't know. Maybe somebody's he's been here a year, but he's going to go from Green Bay to the Bears.
Luckily, though, I give a little bit of grace because I do remember we named the champion of this sport within the last 50 years. So we're getting close.
Yeah,
we're getting close to figuring out college football in totality. We actually play for it now. We don't share it. So it's building. It's getting there. It's a work in progress.
See, the next thing for me, and I know they've thrown around all these, now there's a 2014 playoff model that is good. But to me, I would almost rather see automatic qualifiers across the board. But I don't know if that'll happen because we like to argue, we like to have angst on those Tuesday nights when the CFP rankings come out, and we look at these scenarios. You're splitting hairs. What Notre Dame and Miami? What's the difference here? And to me, AQs would make more sense. Make it more of an NFL type of model. You're in a certain position, and you're in. But I'll have to see it to believe it. All this stuff has been thrown around with a 16-team playoff, a 24-team playoff, and have AQs. But I think we like the drama. We like the debate every Tuesday night when the rankings come out.
I love 12, but I know it's going to change. I'm not getting married to it, but you're spot on. We love being able to bitch about something. If you took away our selection process, Armen, who would we complain about?
And we love to be able to have to change something all the time so we can talk about it. Like you just said, what we complain about.
We need more content
and have somebody that got wrong, that didn't get in the tournament. Yeah, so
it's like that 69th team in March Madness, we should have got in. But by the way, Armen, hang in there with Marquette. They have scheduled rather aggressively here this year.
They have
this morning, man.
Well, I was telling,
they'll be fine.
Well, we'll see. Thank you. But what I was telling Billy was that you're doing like kind of a new experiment where you're trying not to do the NIL in the portal, or you do NIL, but not the portal, which is totally fine. But you have to also accept that there's going to be down cycles then when you're trying to rebuild, a cycle of a program when you lose a bunch of guys. And that's the thing I think a lot of Marquette fans are struggling with because everybody wants to win. Everyone loves a principal. But when you lose some games, it's like you're ready to throw it out the window for a second. You know what I mean?
Man, but they've tested. I mean, last night was sloppy. We watched, it was like 45 turnovers. With their game with Dayton? I mean, it was entertaining. It was back and forth kind of game. But I mean, look, they've got Oklahoma coming in. They come here to Madison, and the following week they're going down to your bride's old school, down to Purdue. So I mean, they could have just scheduled a bunch of cupcakes, sit here 6-0, and think they're all that. You could be right. This could be one of those bump years for them, but it also might be just a rough stretch early where you're going to probably look a lot different in February than what you're looking right now.
Hopefully,
you got to
true.
feel better after that.
I do, and I appreciate that.
The complete opposite of what I did. That's the complete opposite of
what
I just threw in there. I'm like, listen, if you guys don't beat Wisconsin and Purdue,
what's going to happen to this program? What's going to happen to this whole thing?
Any credit in the selection process? They haven't extended it to 78 teams yet to be able to boost it up. Will as many Badger fans make this a benchmark measuring stick game? Place way too much importance on BYU, the team that knocked you out.
Sure.
Last year coming up on Friday night.
Yeah, even though the cast of characters are quite a bit different. There'll be an overreaction one way or the other. It's either Final Four or, boy, I hope they can make the first four after this. And then, next week they'll play Providence and then either TCU or the reigning national champs. So even, Greg mentioned that to us after the game a few days ago that, okay, now they're going into the deep end of the pool. They've taken care of their business through the first four games. SIU Edwardsville it's a nice team. Brian Baroni, former Marquette Golden Eagle, coaching that team. He's doing a really nice job there. But now, I don't know if you caught any of the BYU UConn game last Saturday night. I tuned into that a little bit. Like, oh, okay, there's some dudes out there on both sides. So this is a big time test for them. It's a long trip for 3 games.
Yes.
They left yesterday. They play tomorrow afternoon. Then they'll head off to. They're going to see some of their old teammates, the G League team, Salt Lake.
Yeah, that's right. And
so
Delta Center.
Tanjay Crowell and Klesmet out there, and then it's Thanksgiving and Black Friday. The game's next week, so it's a lengthy trip. But they've got some loyal fans, donors, and it's in San Diego. They're going Salt Lake City to San Diego, so I think they'll be okay.
I hope they can find.
We'll pack our tiny violins because that sounds like a just terrible way to spend a couple of days in November.
I know BYU, it's hard to find some caffeinated coffee, but an uncaffeinated Brian Butch for Chris Foster's. Chris.
We're
gonna find some coffee because I want Foster's to have to deal with Butch on that situation.
Well, I suggested that maybe he, buy Foster's some dinner or something, but for a 7-footer, his arms are pretty short. So I don't know if he's going to reach the wallet. So, I'm good. I'm good.
You know where I'm at. I'm good. I brought the card, brother, but I just left it in my other pants. I'm sorry. I forgot. You did prep Chris though, right? He's a nice dude. I met him in that football, bro. he knows what to expect.
He knows with Butch, yeah.
With Butch.
They get along great. Chris is a grinder, man. He was calling the volleyball game for BTN last night over here in Madison. So he says yes to about everything. So he's good at what he does. So it'll be fun.
Smart man.
Yeah, exactly.
Matt, can't wait to see you coming up on Saturday. It should be a fun one. Always good to see Camp Randall at night. Thanks for the time today, man.
All right, boys. Good talking to you. Take care.
We'll see you on Saturday. There's Matt LePay, voice of the Wisconsin Badgers, hanging out with us here on No BS. The Rady's Children's Invitational next week in San Diego.
Yeah, that'll be fun. 4 teams in that. I know. I think Florida's one of them, and I forget the rest.
I do like how Matt said that. Get a win, then all of a sudden, then you get to maybe take on the reigning national champs. Oh, that's fun. That's a good way to test yourself early. Good way to test yourself early. It's early for us, but a good test for the Green Bay Packers getting back in the division. We'll flip it over to Packers and Vikings coming up. As we continue to roll forward, it's No BS on the game.
If you don't go to the University of Wisconsin, you're going to end up eating government cheese and living in a van down by the river.
Want to watch No BS?
We'll do anything it takes.
They're live on YouTube, Facebook, and X right now.
We have a place for it.
Just search 97.3 The Game.
Here are the top Queen songs that you've thumbed up. Number 3, We Are the Champions. Number 2, We Will Rock You.
You got mud on your face, big disgrace. Somebody better put your bag into your place. We will rock you. Sing it. We will rock you.
Number 1, Another One Bites the Dust.
Another one bites the dust, and another one gone, and another one gone, another one bites the dust. Hey, I'm gonna get you too. Another one bites the dust.
Hear more from Queen and similar artists now. Search for Queen on iHeartRadio. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free.
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1967.
Van Morrison, formerly of the band Them, has a number 10 hit as a solo artist with Brown Eyed Girl. In July, LA band The Grassroots scored their first top 10 hit with Let's Live for Today. And UK supergroup Cream, featuring guitarist Eric Clapton, toured the US for the first time.
In the sunshine of your love.
And in September, Janis Joplin's band Big Brother and the Holding Company signed with Columbia Records and released their debut album. October of '67, Memphis band The Box Tops, including 17-year-old gravel voice singer Alex Chilton, have a number 1 hit with The Letter.
Yeah, ticket for an aeroplane. Ain't got time to take a fast train. Lonely days are gone, I'm a going home. My baby just took me a letter. My baby just took me a letter.
And in November, the first issue of Rolling Stone magazine is published in San Francisco, featuring an interview with John Lennon. The Who have their first and only U.S. top 10 hit with I Can See for Miles. In December, they smashed their instruments on the Smothers Brothers TV show.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1967, coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1978.
In June of '78, Darkness on the Edge of Town is released, Bruce Springsteen's follow-up to his breakthrough album Born to Run. The album charts at number 5.
In the darkness on the edge of town. In the darkness on the edge of town.
Boston-based band The Cars released their debut album. It goes to number 18. It features the singles Just What I Needed and My Best Friend's Girl.
She's my best friend's girl. But she used to be mine.
In July of '78, the Rolling Stones released Some Girls in the U.S. The album and the single Miss You both hit number 1. In August of '78, Boston released their sophomore album, Don't Look Back. The album goes to number 1 in the U.S., selling 4 million copies in its first month.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1978, coming up.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Bryan Adams to talk about working with the legendary Jeff Lynne.
I think that one of the great things about Jeff Lynne, he's sort of able to become a member of the band, no matter what band he works with. So when you listen to any of his projects, his signature is all over it. It was serendipitous that we actually met up, and he asked me if I didn't want to cut a track sometime. I said, yeah. As soon as I got the track back, I was like, when are we doing the next one? Even Jeff was surprised when he got the track. I was like, wow, we got tons of other songs. And so I would send a demo that Jim and I would have written and then send him the files. And then Jeff would use whatever he wanted to and replace whatever he wanted to and send back a master.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Bryan Adams and all your favorite artists.
In the shotgun, Winston looks it over. Here's the snap. Winston sets, throws, left side of the end zone. Intercepted! Intercepted by the kid! Oh, Evan Williams delivers in the left corner of the end zone. And the Packers deliver the dagger.
Nothing like delivering a dagger to the New York Football Giants this past weekend. And finally, when the Packers decided to squeeze one of those opportunities for a pick, it ended the game, well, somewhat, in the corner of the end zone. They ended up, Giants getting the football back, having an opportunity to throw it down. But another turnover ended up ending the game there, and a couple of opportunities for some turnovers could be coming this week. J.J. McCarthy ranks 5th in the National Football League in interceptions thrown this year. Armen Sarian, as we're back here on No BS. 2 quarterbacks are tied for the league lead in interceptions right now. Could you name them?
Boy, your first instinct is somebody bad. I'm gonna guess Darnold just because he had a bunch recently.
Ooh, Sam Darnold, 2nd at 10 interceptions.
All right, so I was
13
close.
is the leading number for a pair of AFC quarterbacks.
AFC. Well, I'm not gonna say Dylan or Shador. They haven't played long enough yet. Justin Fields. Justin Fields.
Justin Fields is not headlining.
Has he
that
thrown
list.
the ball 13 times?
Well,
this year,
that's
though?
the thing. There's a lot of factors here, and I mentioned earlier, and it's
Justin
true.
Fields has only thrown 1 interception to 7 touchdowns.
How weird! See,
in 9 games,
guys. You can't use that as a measuring stick anymore because some guys, like obviously Caleb Williams, has a really low interception rate. But whether or not that's helped him become a great quarterback is up for discussion. Some guys are good at avoiding turnovers, but then again, they play very carefully.
Armen, can I help you?
Well, sure. Oh, absolutely. You got
Las Vegas. Gino.
Oh, Gino. Oh, that's a good one. Was it Gino? And then I'd probably say Tua because I've heard he's done a lot of bad stuff this year. Yeah.
Nice work. Opposite ends of the coast. It's Tua and Gino at 13 INTs, followed up by Darnold at 10 and Flacco along with Justin Herbert at 9. And then J.J. McCarthy. Now, granted, McCarthy has thrown 8 in 5 games, which is a little different than the Bo Nix and Trevor Lawrence that he's trailing, much closer to one like Jake Browning, who threw 8 in 4 games
right. And
for the Cincinnati Bengals.
And what's Cam Ward done this year? Like, you never hear about Cam Ward.
Your boy Cam Ward, 10 games. He has completed 58% of his passes, thrown for 1,900 yards, 6 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions.
Okay,
and gotten his coach fired.
So not bad, but not great, just by those numbers. Yeah. But you look at the games, you look at the Titans, you say, well, Cam Ward's not really playing. It's really hard to judge quarterbacks now based on just looking at these type of things and numbers and what is good and what isn't. That's the tough thing about trying to use metrics, because we use analytics and data now because we're trying to find better metrics to judge quarterbacks, because that's what we do, right?
Cam Ward might go down as the all-time least discussed number one overall quarterback of all time.
It's got to be. No one discussed him when he was getting drafted. No one discusses him now. No one talks about him. There's never been a first overall quarterback, but for better or worse, either way, that's been talked about less. I swear we never talk about Cam Ward. He hasn't come up even on like ESPN. We love talking about guys. They don't bring up Cam Ward. I
think Shador Sanders has had more conversation just this week since being named the starter yesterday morning.
Right.
Than Cam Ward has had on the 4-letter network probably all year long.
This has got to be the most ordinary first overall quarterback since when? I don't even know who to say.
Sam Bradford.
Maybe. And it really hasn't been all that ordinary. I mentioned he got his coach. Their coach got fired.
That's true.
That's a tough deal. That's a tough scene when you get your coach fired 4 games in. He didn't get his coach fired. His coach got himself fired.
Well, I was going to say, like, the team's been bad.
Brian Callahan was ass as a head coach. Let's call it what it was.
But there wasn't even discussion on, like, is Cam Ward helping or hurting the cause his rookie year? Did Cam overcoming a bad?
No, there hasn't been that conversation.
There's been none of
no
that.
doubt about it.
Yeah,
there's been a lot more of all the other quarterbacks in that 2024 class. I mentioned Bo Nix right there with McCarthy with 8 picks on the year. Nix and McCarthy are always going to be tied together. And when we talked about it with Dave Sinekin yesterday, interesting comparison where he's like, no, here they still eye him up towards Drake May because that had very clearly become the apple of their intended eye in the pre-draft process. Armen, that's got to make you feel happy. That's got to make you happier knowing the fact that not only did the Bears pass on Drake May, who is leading the NFL in touchdown passes thrown this year.
He is. He's playing great.
Pardon me, not in touchdown passes. One of the touchdowns to interception ratio, he's very, very high. But Stafford,
he's playing great.
Stafford with his 4 TDs last week is at top that list. But top 5 in touchdown passes, top 5 in MVP balloting, and both teams. Well, one team wanted him. One team talked to Caleb Williams, and that was it. So in the trials and tribulations of developing young quarterbacks, the NFL says that. Or I feel like media members now, it's a kind of in vogue thing to say the NFL has a quarterback development problem. I think it's very, very difficult to develop quarterbacks to be Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes. There's a reason why there's 4 or 5 of the elitist of the elite quarterbacks in the NFL at any given point in time. Even right now, which might be the glory age, the golden age of quarterback play in the National Football League, there's still maybe 5 that you look at are, those guys are different than everybody else.
Because in the end, they're competing against each other. So there's always going to be an economy of some guys trying to set them. Even if everybody's better, there's got to be some that are better because you're playing against each other and trying to beat each other.
Yes.
In theory, you can't
at some
all
particular
succeed.
point in time, one beats the other one every single time.
So you can't
and
all
that's
succeed.
how Pat has separated himself as well. But like you just see that there are always levels to it. That we do tier lists or however you want to rank and file them into different groupings. You hope and wonder how many of those guys end up being the elite of the elite quarterbacks. But when you draft 6 in one class and 6 in the top 12 and 2 of them are in your division, might be one of the more impactful quarterback classes on the NFC North that we see in decades.
Yeah. And I talked earlier about, the fun of drafting and redrafting. Maybe we'll get into it more, but it seems like everyone's trying to redraft the redraft. Right. For a while, it was
where is McCarthy getting redrafted?
That's a great question. That's probably the one that you have still up for grabs, so to speak. Right. But I don't think it's like Caleb Williams was last on that redraft until this year. Right. Sure. And now he's redrafted higher for some people. It was Jaden Daniels, obviously, last year. Like we were making fun of Caleb Williams or the Bears because they drafted the quote unquote wrong guy, meaning Jaden Daniels. And now it's, Drake May, so it's kind of funny how that all worked.
And I still am not ready to fully say that McCarthy is as much of a disaster as Dave Sinekin was kind of leaning towards yesterday. I think there's still a lot of really, really good pieces of JJ McCarthy's game. However, you miss an entire year, you miss your entire rookie year, and you're unable to practice at all. Right. Jordan Love sits his first year. He's able to practice, develop, be on the field, be around the meeting room. When you're rehabbing and you're on kind of the outside looking in as a freshman in the National Football League, as a rookie in the NFL, that's a different thing to be able to come back from. And it definitely seems like that has been a massive hindrance. Hopefully continues to be one this weekend for the Green Bay Packers. They take on McCarthy's Minnesota Vikings at Lambeau Field. We got more on that coming up. We got some talking text line messages to get to here on the other side. It's 877-794-1973. No BS, statewide on the game.
This brother told me a secret on how to get more chicks. Put a little Medina in your glass and the girl will come real quick.
97.3 The Game. This is what's trending in Milwaukee now.
There are just 2 games left in what can fairly only be described as a disappointing Wisconsin football season. But there are games where it feels like there was some momentum heading into halftime, only to see the final 30 minutes go south. Why is that?
Some of that is we've lost the coin toss and not been what we wanted to be, where we can actually get the ball to start the second half. And some of it is our defense goes out there and not say a tough situation, but in a situation where we really need you guys to step up and kind of get this second half going, and we did.
Wisconsin football coach Luke Fickell. Saturday, his Badgers play host to Illinois. Kickoff is at 6:30. The Packers return to the practice field on Wednesday ahead of Sunday's home game against the Vikings. Sunday's game will be the first of 3 straight against division opponents. Running back Josh Jacobs did not practice on Wednesday, but Coach Matt LaFleur did not rule him out for Sunday's game. I'm Doug Russell on the Game Radio Network.
Miss an hour of no BS?
Honestly, Billy, I don't think you'd miss it.
You can find all of the shows in podcast form. Just search No BS on the iHeartRadio app.
iHeartRadio. Here are the top Foreigner songs that you've thumbed up. Number 3, Hot Blooded.
I show you love it like you
Number 2. I Want to Know What Love Is.
Change this lonely life. I want to know what love is. I want you to show me.
Number 1. Cold as Ice.
You're as cold as ice. You're willing to sacrifice our love.
Hear more from Foreigner and similar artists now. Search for Foreigner on iHeartRadio. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free.
iHeartRadio.
Here are the top Fleetwood Mac songs that you've thumbed up. Number 3. Don't Stop.
Don't stop thinking about tomorrow. Don't stop. It's me. It'll be better than before. Yesterday's gone. Yesterday's gone.
Number 2. Dreams. Number 1. Go Your Own Way.
You can go your own way. Go your own way. You can call it another day.
Hear more from Fleetwood Mac and similar artists now. Search for Fleetwood Mac on iHeartRadio. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free.
Now, a year in rock spotlight. 1975.
In June of 75, the Bee Gees released the LP Main Course, featuring a more dance-oriented sound, and delivered 3 hit singles, including the number 1 Jive Talkin'.
Just can't take your eye.
In July, Fleetwood Mac shake things up. They add Americans Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks to the lineup and have a number 1 album. And Wings released the album Venus and Mars, which goes to number 1. Their U.S. tour features Paul McCartney's first live appearance in the U.S. since 1966.
Love is fine for all we know. For all we know, our love will grow. That's what the man said. So won't you listen to what the man said? He said.
In August of 75, the Eagles' 4th album goes to number 1 and has 3 top 5 singles, including the number 1 title track, One of These Nights. And the boss, Bruce Springsteen, is featured on the cover of Time magazine, and Born to Run becomes his breakthrough album, reaching number 3 in the U.S.
Come on with the chance like us. Baby, we were born to run.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1975. Coming up.
I got this soda. When me boys ain't know us. All fast money, no slow bucks. No one can control us.
Tell me what you see.
Lonnie mixing it up here.
Now we're talking, having some fun here on No BS on the Game. Billy and Sarian with you, 877-794-1973. You can also hit us up there, as well as the YouTube chat where our friend Dobler hit us up. Hey, Armen, how much it cost you to pay Billy to talk Marquette hoops for 2 minutes?
Billy likes talking Marquette hoops. You know, come on, Dobler. That's not fair. But I do pay him in Screaming Sicilian. And
I was going to say, pepperoni
fire-
Screaming Sicilian pizza would definitely help.
We fired one up here. Come on, Dobler, though. That's a little unfair. I mean, I know you like to needle us sometimes, but Billy likes talking all kinds of hoops. Billy likes talking Marquette hoops. Billy's a Marquette fan. He likes to watch.
I was dialed in on the game last night.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this much. I was
True TV. What up,
good.
True?
I'll say this also. Nice broadcast, True TV.
It was.
Hey,
nice to be
Turner
back
was
on
like,
Turner.
you know what we're going to not do? Spend money on the NBA. You know what we are going to do? Buy the Big East package.
It felt
okay, I guess.
It
Yeah, why
felt
not?
weird
Sure.
to be watching Turner not during the tournament. You know, I was
Very
like,
strange.
oh, okay, True TV.
I honestly, it was nice to know that True TV is on my guide outside
Sure.
of March.
It's on. It's still there. It still exists. You had to find it. You have to know that number.
Generally, that's what Tuesday and Wednesday of the tournament is. because that's where they play the first 4 games in Dayton is on True TV. It's like, all right, $12.20 on this package. DirecTV, folks, it's going to be this. Like, you start figuring it out for folks.
Sure.
Because you want to help everybody out.
Yeah.
Generally, you completely forget that you even have the channel until you need it.
And that's not one of mine that's not one of my current ones that I can like log into on the current package of whatever we bought, because
on the 14 different streaming packages that you have and trying to tie them into one. Yeah.
That's okay. I still log in though by using mom and dad's on there because it still works on theirs. So that's fine. That's how you watch it. And it was good to see True TV.
Good to hear BA on the call. I like that a lot.
BA on the call for sure. Always great to hear BA when he's doing a call.
It also makes me feel a little bit excited thinking that they're going to have a number of different BA. That we're going to get a number of BA Marquette calls.
Might get a lot more BA. Yeah, so that's pretty cool.
That's a good thing to have.
That was a positive. No, it was a good broadcast. It didn't give me any problems last night.
Individual at the tail end of the game. Young man that was, I'm guessing, a second-year dental student at Marquette or maybe a law student at Marquette.
Come on now, you need those dentists.
Did you see now it wasn't a surrender cobra that Buddy went into after the miss in overtime and then the foul down 6.
Yeah, that was it.
He had the hands on the forehead. He dragged it all the way down and pulled his lip below his chin. They got it in super slow-mo.
I've been there.
On the Send 2 commercial, and I'm like, oh, my God. That is 20 years ago, Armen Saryan after a loss to maybe Louisville?
Yeah,
or Cincinnati, probably.
Louisville, probably. Well, Cincinnati, but Louisville was the heartbreakers, man.
That was the heartbreaker one, was the Louisville ones.
Yeah, that was really good camera work. There was an era where Marquette lost at the buzzer at home at the Bryce Center Louisville 3 straight cycles.
Oh, yeah.
So over 6 years, I believe. Basically buzzer beater type shots.
And they were filling I remember seeing the BC packed for those games.
Absolutely. That was the biggest game going during conference during those times.
That's why you got a Jerry Smith autograph picture. And
I got Jerry Smith. The shot's is autographed. He's sitting at my desk smiling with the Marquette mug. It's my Jerry. Thank you, Jerry. I really needed that. Yes. Thank you, Mike McGivern.
When Mike and I saw him at the WBY shootout last year, and Jerry's sitting next to us, I believe he's coaching at UWGB, and he's hanging out, talking. They're scouting some players, and Mike kind of leans over and starts while we're doing the game. Jerry, this guy right here is still one of the best high school basketball players you're ever going to see in the state of Wisconsin. And Jerry Smith's sitting over there like, I appreciate that. Am I supposed to respond?
This is weird.
Because Mike's live. Mike's on the headset. Like really we're calling the game. He goes, this guy right here had to have broken a lot of hearts. There were a lot of games that there were some people that thought that he was definitely going to be a Wisconsin Badger. Definitely wanted to be a Marquette Golden Eagle. And then all of a sudden he starts breaking hearts with the Louisville Cardinals. And I'm like, I know my man Armen Saryan has nightmares of Jerry Smith.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that shot killed
Jerry,
me, man.
I'd love to have you in for my high school show on Saturday morning. So we get him in there, and I'm like, Mike, you got to do the funniest thing of all time.
It was.
Billy, I'm way ahead of you. And Mike was. He was way ahead. He's like, I'm going to have him sitting in the chair. I'm going to get any piece of Marquette memorabilia we can get with him.
Yeah, that was good.
And Jerry Smith couldn't have been a nicer guy.
Very nice.
Even after just dismantling your dreams there. What was that, a sophomore, junior year?
No, I was graduated by that time. It was 07, but that was the third.
Damn, so you were paying full price for your season tickets at that point in the smokers section.
Yeah, it was. It was 03 Reese Gaines, 05 Francisco Garcia, I believe, and then him in 07, because there were so many teams in the Big East. You got the home game every other year. That's the way it worked back then. So.
Yeah. Ron and Salas is spot on.
Crazy.
True TV broadcasts something other than Impractical Jokers?
Yeah, exactly.
That's like MTV broadcasting something other than Ridiculousness.
Which is done now. Where are they going to fill their program?
Oh my gosh.
Where'd you know West Coast go?
How are you going to do it? We're going to somehow fill our last hour next on the game.
Stay tuned.
You do like to grab attention.
No BS. We'll be back in just a moment.
Now, a year in rock spotlight from 1977.
In June of 77, Ram Jam have a top 20 U.S. hit single with the cover of Lead Belly's song Black Betty. Chicago area rock band Styx have a U.S. top 10 album Grand Illusion, including the top 10 single Come Sail Away.
Come sail away, come sail away, come sail away with me.
In July of 77, the Grateful Dead veered towards progressive rock, adding strings, horn, and a choir on their ninth studio album, Terrapin Station.
And the whistle is screaming, Terrapin.
In August of 77, the King dies. Elvis Presley's found dead in his home in Memphis, Tennessee at the age of 42. Detroit rock vocalist Iggy Pop releases his second solo album, Lust for Life. It's his second collaboration with David Bowie. New York's Billy Joel releases his fifth album, The Stranger. It goes to number 2 in the U.S., with the single Just the Way You Are rising to number 3.
I want you just the way you are.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1977. Coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1973.
Sing with me just for today. Never tomorrow, the good Lord take it away.
Boston band Aerosmith released their debut album. It fares poorly. It would be re-released in 76 and yield a top 10 hit, Dream On.
You ain't nothing but a hound dog, right on down.
Elvis Presley's live TV special, Aloha from Hawaii, is watched by more than 1 billion people worldwide and introduces the world to the rhinestone white jumpsuit. In February of 73, Alice Cooper has a #1 album with Billion Dollar Babies, along with 3 top 40 singles. Elton John also has a #1 album and his first #1 single with Crocodile Rock. Paul McCartney and Wings have a #1 single with My Love, and the Stooges signed to Columbia Records and released their final album, Raw Power, produced by David Bowie. In March, Pink Floyd releases the now legendary Dark Side of the Moon. It goes to #1 and becomes one of the best-selling albums of all time.
And everything under the sun is you. But the sun is a great spot.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1973. Coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1974.
For the band on the run. Band on the run.
In January of 1974, the top-selling album of the year is released, Paul McCartney and Wings, Band on the Run. Bob Dylan, backed by the band, has his first #1 album with Planet Waves. In February, Jersey City's Kool and the Gang have a top 5 hit with Jungle Boogie. New York City's Kiss released their debut, which sells 75,000 copies without a hit single. In March of 74, Canadian band Rush released their debut album, Get a New Drummer, and go on their first U.S. tour. David Essex has the first of many top 10 hits in the UK and his only U.S. hit with the single Rock On, which goes to #5. And Steely Dan hit the top 5 with the single Ricky Don't Lose That Number and have a top 10 album too with Pretzel Logic.
Ricky, don't lose that number. It's the only one you want. You might use it if you feel better when you get home.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1974. Coming up. iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Elton John to talk about performing live.
Going on stage was when I could show off and be comfortable. And you know, I was always a bit timid off stage. And the stage gave me an outlet. And you'll find that with many performers, whether they be dancers, actors, singers, musicians. They have the outlet on stage to become the person they're not off stage. And I think that's what eventually led to my troubles, along with the drugs and the drink, is that the person who was fast becoming popular as Elton John and becoming, you know, the #1 rock star in the world had kind of escaped from the person off stage, and the balance was completely off kilter. And the more I became successful, the harder I worked, and the less time I concentrated on being normal or trying to be kind of normal. But people who knew me privately were shocked, I think, at what I was doing off stage. Rather, you know, they knew what I was going to do on stage, but off stage they were shocked and disappointed.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Elton John and all your favorite artists.
Listen to us live 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app and watch our shows each weekday on YouTube, Facebook, and X. We are the game.
Well, it's turning face to stars and stripes. It's fighting back them butterflies. It's calling in the air already. Yes, sir, we want the ball. And it's knocking heads and talking trash.
Come on, Kenny.
Slinging mud and dirt.
You felt this. You felt this, Billy.
I got your back when your back's against the wall.
Don't do it.
You mess with one man, you
Got us all.
The boys are full.
Well, that'll hit you in the feels.
Billy's been here. Billy's been there one or too many times, right?
And we're going to be 1 hour away as the Current Electric pregame show starts with friend of show Mike McGivern.
Mike McGivern, thank you so much for joining us. So the next 2 days at Camp Randall in Madison, we will crown 7 state champions, from small schools to large schools, with teams from all over the state of Wisconsin. If we think back to August 5th, first day of practice, every team in the state starts working together to get to this point.
Oh, yes.
Awesome.
Give it to me.
Turning face to stars and stripes. It's fighting back them butterflies. It's
And every single week, while you go to practice and your friends are enjoying the rest of their summer vacations, you know what these kids are doing? They're working to get better. They're growing the brotherhood and the bond that it's going to take to be able to play here on November 21st or 20th or 21st at Camp Randall Stadium for the state title.
So good. That's good.
Awesome.
I'm really
can't
excited.
wait.
I'm
Buddy,
excited.
phenomenal job grabbing that right at the moment. That was awesome.
And phenomenal.
And also, thank you, My 24 and Mike McGivern.
We're just dropping bars. And, Mike's been waiting for this all, been waiting for this all year. And so we, the nice thing about this, Billy, besides of all the things we just talked about, is it's great to have some live sports going on here at 10 in the morning.
I love it.
I'm excited for that. I told you about this. I love seeing dreams come true from up and down America's Dairyland with these division games, Division 7, 6, 5. I love seeing these kids and these communities come together, and it's always an exciting couple days.
Cochrane Fountain City against St. Joseph's. Kenosha St. Joe's Catholic going to start us up in an hour from right now at Camp Randall. It's going to be awesome. Cannot wait. And I love being able to listen. Mike has afforded me a lot of great luxuries in this business. I've been knowing Mike McGivern for a long time. Give me a lot of opportunities. He loves high school sports. He loves
the stories,
the atmosphere, the teamwork, the coaching, the dedication it takes. So very, very excited. Love being able to enjoy a little bit of high school football and the state titles happening at Camp Randall Stadium, starting up today at 10 with D7. The D6 game is a battle of absolute heavyweights. Edgar against Darlington. Now, I believe both of these teams were Division 7 at one particular point in time, have both moved up because of the competitive balance rule, Eddie.
Edgar for sure. Darlington, I think they've been that team that's on the 6-7 border.
In and out a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, on the 6-7 border.
Oh, wow. What did I just do?
Oh, 6-7.
Come on.
I didn't realize it. For a second because I'm not a middle schooler. But I did pick it up after a little bit. So there you go. This is just the greatest time, right? I mean, we have a perfect day for it.
Yes.
The weather's going to be nice out there, that crisp fall air. When that time of the year, when summer turns to fall.
But you call it in the air.
Yeah.
You can turn and face the stars and stripes, fighting back them butterflies. Getting the chill in the air. And the best part is when everybody's lined up on that sideline and you start seeing the breath. It's just cold enough where you start seeing your breath all radiating from close to 100 savages lining up on the sideline, getting ready to go and do battle. And
love it.
Try to make their mark.
Just think
on their school's winning hallway.
That's right.
That picture's going to be up forever.
Picture's going to be up forever.
Think about that,
You're
boys.
trying to get that gold ball to be in that case forever in the hallway when kids walk into Darlington High or wherever they.
Or the 06 Franklin Sabres.
Yeah.
Won
Right,
overtime,
right,
36-29 against the Brookfield Lancers, who are also undefeated.
Yep. And they walk right by that thing every single time you go back through them hallways.
It's been a while, but
think,
they're
and,
there, I think.
Makes me think, a little birdie told me what Mike McGivern's main question is on Faith in the Zone. And he always says, if you could put on one uniform from one time in history for one game in your own youth, what would it be? Would it be your Carroll uniform for your last game? Would it be your high school uniform? That's a great question. And that's a great question for a lot of these kids today that worked, sacrificed, dreamed, put in a lot of effort, blood, sweat, and tears to point toward this day in the fall when all your dreams could come true. How about that?
That's awesome.
It's pretty cool. When you think about stuff like that, each one of those kids had that dream. No matter where you're from, a small town, you're from a big city, you're from a football rich, community, you're from a team that's never been there, that you've ever been that good, that you're a contributor or you're not a contributor, that you're part of the team. And that you thought to yourself that one day I could be part of this moment. And a lot of these kids, the seniors, will never play football again. That's the other thing that gets you.
That's the tough one.
They'll never play this game again. They'll take the uniform off for the last time, win or lose, and they're going to have that moment to say, man, this crazy part is that it's over now.
If there's any kid listening and you have the ability to go play football at the college level and you're a senior in high school right now, go do it, because those moments, you don't go to a field and play with 22 other guys a football game. You can't replicate it. You can't replicate it.
You're not
play until you
on.
can't play anymore. I could have played Division III football at like Beloit or Carthage or Carroll. Decided no, I was too cool for that. And you know what? By the time I was a junior in college, I was like, damn. Effing mistake.
There's a lot of awesome opportunities to be able to do it, and there's a lot of kids here. You're right, Armen, that will be playing their last football game, and hopefully there's a lot that earn an opportunity here today to make sure that it's not their last game, because there are a lot of people watching, a lot of coaches watching, and hey, shout out Mayville and Northwestern. That game's going to be awesome in D5 later on here today. I like it once it gets a little bit more under the lights, maybe a couple of flurries. I know that is cool. Going to be lucky enough to have that either today or tomorrow.
When you build up toward the dark gate, when it gets dark, and then you're like, all right, now we're one of these big time. Now we're getting close to D1 and all these things.
But it was cool. You mentioned all the different guys that have play in a bunch of different games. Obviously, I know the Arrowhead staff decently well, and they put together a package with a bunch of different players that had played at Arrowhead that are playing in, different games, and couple are playing at Iowa State, and one's playing and getting ready to go take on Texas A&M at South Carolina.
How about that?
A couple with the Badgers, Owen Arnett in the practice facilities. Like, can't wait to see you guys down here. And then there's, Ben Bredesen, who played at Michigan, has now played, I think, 6 or 7 years in the NFL, played for the New York Giants, plays now for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's like, sends a 30-second video of saying, just remember that this is going to be one of the most important days of your life. This is the one that you're going to remember forever. And that's pretty sweet when you're able to see guys that do, because you could talk to 53 guys in the Packers locker room here today. And if you ask them that question, a large portion of them would say, sure, Monday night, obviously Super Bowl, that's the dream. But the one that you have played in, many would say with their high school teammates for one final time. On a Friday night in front of all your friends.
That's it.
The guys that you grew up with.
That's when you're
pretty awesome opportunity coming up here today.
It's got to be hard, though. I've never played in a game like that. That really important. It's got to be hard if you are self-aware enough to know that this is going to be one of those days, and you're trying to soak in every moment of the day. That whole meta thing where you're thinking about the memories that you're going to make, and you're thinking about how you're going to never forget this moment. It's got to be hard that while you're doing that, then stay focused on the details of 100%. What you have to do play in and play out to still try and win the game. Like, I understand this is going to be a day I never forget, one of those things. I want to soak in the memories, but I also have to make sure that I make the correct block on this play. Like, you have to focus still on the details, and those details can be mundane sometimes, right? When you're like saying, yeah, but it's about the journey, and it's about the memories, and it's about
the road to get there.
Which is true, but it's also about us converting a 3rd and 2 right now so we can try and win this game, right? Yeah.
In 2006, we had a great booster club. They bought us a hotel the night before, hotel room.
They bought you a whole hotel?
Yes. We had meetings. Jesse Miller, the offensive coordinator who had been the head coach, ran that thing like it was a college program. We shared the hotel with Gilman, who were the D7 champs the night before. They spent the night after they had won the game.
So you guys were like the Russian team with the U.S. team in the 90s. Like, man, I kind of envy you guys.
Well, yeah,
like,
they did have some Gilman accents from up there, right? But no, that gave us the mindset of, we just watched these guys have a great time.
Sure,
this morning in the lobby or whatever, and it helped us focus. And also, we played the Division II game at 1:00. Division III right before it, Armen, I think you'll like this. Greendale versus Wapaka. And as much as we wanted to win as Franklin, we had a rivalry with Greendale, even though we know we'd never play them. So when Wapaka went up in the fourth quarter, you no doubt could hear from the McLean Center every Franklin Sabre player and maybe coaches cheering when Wapaka went up on a 4th and 25, I think they scored on.
Wow.
To go up 7-6, I want to say.
Well, that's what it is. You're going to be cheering against your rivals.
Oh, heck yeah. I mean, even in the state championship game in Madison.
Of course.
So, and then Arrowhead got absolutely steamrolled by Homestead 35-0 after.
Damn. Well, hopefully that doesn't happen.
That was the first of 3 years for those teams in a row, though. It was Homestead in 06, Arrowhead in 07, then Homestead won it again in 08. So that was just the top of those two teams right there.
It is awesome.
Alex and Cambria, I do remember what you're talking about when Cambria Friesland became Division 7 champions in 2002. It is nice.
Wow.
How about that?
Let's go.
My buddy Casey went there.
To Cambria Friesland?
Mm-hmm.
Was he from Cambria or Friesland?
Friesland. He's got the sign. I was in the
that's pretty cool.
House.
That's tremendous. I'd like to see the Winneconne Little Shoot game later on tonight. That's going to be fun.
Oh, it's going to be some great
throw the records out. There's some good proximity between those two teams coming up. We had our friend Curtin Grafton. Shout out Grafton, #1 seed. They won a thriller to get to the state title game. I think they were down 28-7, and they came back and won it on the last play of the game in overtime. Wow. And then we also had Texter ask us, Alex, about teams looking at some of these guys and would the Badgers be able to pick up some of these kids from the state title games or other colleges snatch them up, particularly this Reedsburg running back. And Reedsburg's been steamrolling, folks. I mean, running all over the place. There was an individual from Green Bay Notre Dame last year.
Okay.
Old boy ran for like 400 yards.
He had a crazy game.
I mean, he just cooked the entire game.
Yeah, I was texting you about him. I remember that.
I had never seen somebody dominate a football game like that.
What was his name?
No clue.
We're gonna
I'd be totally lying to you.
Somebody tell us. Somebody tell us.
But I do know he got himself. I think he was going to like a
Christian Collins. 408 and 5 touchdowns.
5 TDs. Yes.
Jeez, man.
And like
That's
2 or 3
season.
of them were from 60 or 70 yards away.
That's a good season.
They were playing against Catholic Memorial. It's not like it's a pushover.
No,
far from it.
And they dog walked them, if I'm not mistaken.
49-28.
I believe he did go 1AA or FCS, I believe. I want to say he was at one of the North Dakota schools. It can very much happen. I think one of the great stories, not necessarily from the state title, but from the Wisconsin High School Football Coaches Association All-Star game a number of years ago was Joe Schobert.
Yeah.
Who was committed to go to North Dakota State. And then, I mean, just dominated the All-Star game, ran for touchdowns, played linebacker, and then ultimately was committed to Wisconsin to play linebacker like 2 days later. Because they're like, wait a second.
This guy's good.
This guy's awesome. All due respect to the Bison. He needs to be playing for the Badgers. And he's like, oh, sweet. Somebody give him a call. And then 2 days later, he was going to the Badgers. So, like, they absolutely can happen. And you'll see some of them. Very, very excited. We had our friend Red Hot Tim Knott. My niece's boyfriend is on the O-line for Mayville. Let's go, Cardinals.
All right, there you go.
Come on, Cardinals.
Yeah.
Let's go.
You know, the thing is, recruiting's tough, especially at the high school level, because everyone's playing against other high schoolers. So it can be a very inexact science. You don't know sometimes what kids are going to be good. You can be tricked sometimes by saying, man, this kid looks like the best player I've ever seen. There's no way he's not. And then, you know, at the next level, he's not. So it can be a tricky thing. But that's what makes today so exciting. That's, that you might have teams that have bigger kids, D1 recruits, whatever. You might still be able to, if you play well as a team, beat those teams with those guys. And once you get between the lines, none of that other stuff matters, and you're trying to do it.
Well, and two, even if for some of these guys, like there are many players on the Wisconsin offensive line and on the Wisconsin Badgers team who maybe started somewhere else and then got themselves to Wisconsin. Maybe they don't start at UW, but can end up transferring up, like Ramchek, who was at UW Stevens Point for a while. Luke Goetke, God, I might be mispronouncing his name. He was in the Division III ranks, and now he just signed himself a big contract with Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So, like, it can happen and does. And I think of like a Davis Heinzen, who did not start his career at UW, but for his final year of eligibility, now it didn't go the way he wanted to right away, but now he battled his way through and now he's the starting center after a number of different injuries. So even if they don't start out here at UW, there's many ways now that you can find a lot more kids from the state going to UW, and hopefully we see even more of those continue on.
Christian Collins is at Northern Iowa.
There you go. All right.
Not a bad watching for that. Not a bad little school right there.
No doubt.
They got a sweet spot. They got a sweet indoor stadium, Armin. I believe they run out from like a garage door.
Oh, I love that.
That's sweet.
I love that.
Like
yeah.
right underneath the goalpost.
That is so cool.
Pretty sweet spot. 877-794-1973. If you have somebody that you'd like to shout out going before their state title game, please do at 877-794-1973.
Steve Kirsch. I played the 82 D1 championship game for Anago. We beat Cudahy.
Ooh.
Congratulations.
Beat the Packers.
He said Anago, yes. Anago won the first ever D1 championship in 76 and also won in 78 and 82. What a run for KB, of course. I mean, KB talks about being in Anago all the time.
Uh-huh.
And legendary coach Gordy Schofield.
Come on, Gordy.
All right, Gordy. Mike from Maryland high school or in college for me. The last time you ever put that jersey on in that specific sport, the bonding, friendships, and those big minute moments resonate for he meant to say for a lifetime. When someone says it's the time of your life, it truly is. Yeah, which makes it, when you think about that stuff, that's what makes these games interesting to watch and fun to watch. Also, it's good to watch some good football here during the morning times. I like that.
Well, and you like knowing that there's some consequence behind it, right?
Yeah.
And I will say this also. As much as we're just urging and sending out the messages to the 14, high school kids that are listening to us, and if you are listening to us, shout out. You're going to make something of yourself.
You are going to.
It must be study hall.
You're going to make something of yourself, not listening to TikTok all day long. You're listening to talk radio. That's
right.
the backbone of society. There would always be the parent, old guy, brother, former alumni that would walk in and everybody'd be on a knee looking up at the coach. I want to bring up Andy Ludwig. Andy was a part of the 06 championship team, played here at Franklin. Everybody give Andy a clap. 1, 2, 3. And you sit there and Luddy comes up and talks about all the great moments of his life and how it definitely, molded him into the career that he's going right now. And take this, guys, enjoy this time right now because it's the best time of your life. And everybody in that hall saying, yeah, I know, guy. Everybody says they wish that they could go and play high school football one more time. I got 3 more years left, dude. It's all good. I got plenty of time. And then all of a sudden, you're the kid and the senior that's looking back at the sophomores on the team saying, you hear that, man? You hear that? Enjoy it. Enjoy every day. It's almost done now.
All right,
it happens that quick.
Here's my actual story. I will not try not to cry. When we were 6-0 that season, we ended up being 14-0, winning the whole thing. We were playing Oak Creek week 7. And we had one of the youth coaches of the seniors come in and speak to us. And underneath his shirt that he pulled up, he said, Franklin Sabres, 2006 state champions.
Oh,
he told us in week 7 we were going to win it.
That's awesome.
That was the first time we started to believe. We had never talked about winning the state championship.
He made his shirt.
We were 5-5 the year before.
Yeah. Now that can backfire on you too.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
If the other team sees the shirt,
Well, luckily it's not a tattoo, right? Like my man didn't have to go and get that thing covered up like the
He might have gotten a tattoo later, though.
And you know what's great about it is the level of importance you put into it in the moment, like thinking this is your whole world. And then you get older and you're like, it's just a high school game, but it's still awesome.
Oh, but we steamrolled Oak Creek.
Oh man.
But I know.
We hadn't beat them. They were the monkey on. We got the monkey off our back.
I know.
Too. Like
I'm not saying it doesn't matter. I just think as you get older, it's like it becomes a story.
Life changes. It does. It becomes a story.
About the
and
connections.
It's about the time and it's about the connection that you get with all of the guys in there. Brad and Reedsburg said, "Let's go, Reedsburg." Watch out for the Knuth twins or Knuth twins. Either one. Watch out for those boys. Watch out for those boys. Watch out for those boys from Reedsburg. 4 seed coming to the state title game. That's going to be fun to watch. I'm excited. And we will be cheering on all of the competitors, not picking any sides here.
No, absolutely not.
Outside of the D1 game for me. 877-794-1973.
Yeah, personal connection there.
Yeah, we'll hit a parlay of the day coming up here. And maybe in a couple of minutes because we got to do some real digging. We are ice cold on the parlay of the day. Thanks a lot, Maction. Luckily, we get to the guys that, get paid big bucks to play football. Pro game, Thursday night football, tonight, parlay of the day at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. All coming up and more of your talking text line messages as we continue here in hour number 4 on a beautiful thirsty Thursday on a state championship Thursday in the good land. It's no.
The tension is here between who you are and who you could be. Between how it is and how it should be. Yeah, I dare you to
Want to watch No BS?
We'll do anything it takes.
They're live on YouTube, Facebook, and X right now.
We have a place for it.
Just search 97.3 The Game.
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1967.
Try to set the night out.
In January of 1967, Los Angeles band The Doors released their debut album, which eventually goes to number 2, and features the single Light My Fire, which goes to number 1 in July. The Rolling Stones released Ruby Tuesday, an ode to a groupie written by Keith Richards. The song takes them to number 1 in the U.S. in March. And San Francisco band The Jefferson Airplane released the surrealistic Pillow album, scoring 2 top 10 hits with White Rabbit and Somebody to Love.
Don't you want somebody to love? Don't you need somebody to love? Wouldn't you love somebody to love? You better find somebody to love.
In March of 67, Buffalo Springfield re-releases their debut album to include the hit single For What It's Worth. In April of 67, Give Me Some Lovin' by the Spencer Davis Group goes to number 7 in the U.S., with vocals by 17-year-old Steve Winwood. And in May, Elvis Presley marries his 21-year-old girlfriend Priscilla in Las Vegas. In May, Mitch Ryder hits number 4 with Devil with a Blue Dress, Good Golly Miss Molly. And the Jimi Hendrix Experience released their debut in the UK. In July, they toured the U.S. as the opening act for the Monkees in support of the U.S. album release.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1967, coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight from 1976.
Bob Dylan releases his album Desire. It goes to number 1 in the States, thanks mainly to significant radio airplay for the single Hurricane.
Couldn't help but make me feel ashamed to live in a land where justice is a game.
Scottish sensations the Bay City Rollers finally score a hit in the U.S. with the number 1 single Saturday Night.
Saturday night.
In February, former Steve Miller Band member Boz Scaggs has a number 2 U.S. album with Silk Debris. Peter Frampton hits number 1 with his double live album Frampton Comes Alive. It would become the best-selling album of 1976.
I want you to show me the way every day. I want you to show me the way night and day.
In March, Irish hard rockers Thin Lizzy's 6th album, Jailbreak, scores them a number 12 hit single with The Boys Are Back in Town.
The boys are back in town again. Been hanging down at the most.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1976, coming up.
iHeartRadio. Here are the top Aretha Franklin songs that you've thumbed up. Number 3, You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman. Number 2, Freeway of Love. Number 1, Respect.
R-E-S-P-E-C-T, find out what it means to me. R-E-S-P-E-C-T, take out TCB.
Hear more from Aretha Franklin and similar artists now. Search for Aretha Franklin on iHeartRadio. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free.
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1975.
In November, Queen's 4th album is a worldwide smash with the single Bohemian Rhapsody. It hits number 1 in the UK and number 4 in the US.
So you think you can love me and leave me to die? Oh, baby, can't do this to me, baby. Just gotta get out, just gotta get right out of here.
Fast forward to December, Bob Marley and the Wailers released their live album recorded at 2 concerts in London in July. And Paul Simon has a number 1 album with Still Crazy After All These Years. The album produces 4 top 10 hits.
Hop on the bus, cause you don't need to discuss much. Just drop off the key and get yourself free.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1975, coming up.
Right.
No BS on the game. Billy and Sarian with you. Had some injury updates as the Packers and Vikings get ready to take on, well, Border Battle episode 200 coming up this weekend at Lambeau Field. DNPs for Will Fries, guard for the Minnesota Vikings, who came over from the Colts this offseason, and Jonathan Grenard, the latter of those two, probably the most important, Armen. Grenard came over from the Texans a year ago in free agency, one of the better pass rushers in all of the NFL. Packers had a ton of problems containing Grenard a year ago. He has not been a full go since their Baltimore game where he left halfway through, and he's kind of been a little underwhelming this season with just a pair of sacks and only one since their bye. But he is a massive force on the outside, and when they're going to get after the quarterback, as well as the Vikings ultimately can when they are at their upper level, a lot of times it includes Grenard and Van Ginkel getting after the quarterback. Van Ginkel returned in full. If they get Grenard back, they're going to be playing with a full deck going up against this Packers offensive line.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, and it's going to be a big test for the Packers offense and offensive line in general, not just because of the talent there, but we talked about all the looks that Flores throws at you and the way they try and confuse you. And I think I want to say this in the nicest way possible. The Packers offensive line has been confused at times this time this year. So it's going to be a good test for the Packers there. And obviously, depending on who they go up against will be a big factor. And interesting, right? Because we talked about it a little bit with Dave Sinekin yesterday, the way the Vikings have tried to build this defense. It's not really been on necessarily a bunch of young draft picks growing together. Mm-hmm. It's been kind of piecing together through free agency guys, veterans, putting them together and having Flores kind of cook with those ingredients. So you'd like to see, Billy, a couple things. You'd like to see the Packers be able to run the ball consistently. But more importantly, you'd like to see guys continue or to pass protect Jordan Love well so he can get in good situations to, if there's is something opening up downfield, take advantage of it. If it's not, continue to eat with those intermediate throws and continue to be able to put the ball in the money for receivers, for the Packers receivers and weapons to try and get something going there. Maybe some yak, maybe some consistent movement down the field.
Well, and then Ryan Kelly was also listed as a full estimated participant in the walkthrough. There's a thought you might be able to see him on the field coming up this weekend. Now, Ryan Kelly is the center who came over with Fries from the Colts this offseason. Kind of did a strange deal where rarely you get a pair of players from the same group and from the same team. They both came over. He signed a 2-year, $18 million deal. Fries was much larger, 5 years, like 70 million, whatever it ended up being. But that neither here nor there. He has been out for the last 5 weeks due to a concussion. It was his second that he had already suffered. And there was some thought that he might be done for the year, let alone, maybe potentially longer. But sounds like they might be able to get him back. No guarantee. We'll continue to monitor that one, because if they're at full strength up front, very interesting, because Aaron Jones also listed as a full participant. And Dave Sinekin said yesterday, he's probably healthiest now than he has been all year.
And that's an interesting one. Obviously, their running game looks a lot different. We know about him very well. Aaron Jones still one of the best in the business in terms of being, consistent running the ball, but also pass protection, right? So I'm sure J.J. McCarthy's going to be happy to get that back.
For the Packers, guys that were out yesterday, Nate Hobbs, Josh Jacobs, Quay Walker, Savion Williams, Carl Brooks as well. Matthew Golden was out at practice, and some people taking videos and sending them out to us said that he was looking maybe a little bit better than they had anticipated.
Good. That's great news. If you get one of those guys back, if you can only pick one guy for sure to have back, who would you say, Billy? For me, it's Quay. I would love to get the green dot there. Quay's been having a really good year. I think the defense is totally different with him on the field. Quay's one of those success stories when you talk about the Packers' plan in drafting and developing and hoping that a first rounder or the early round guys develop for the long term. Quay's a great example of that, right? He wasn't necessarily that guy when he first stepped in the field. We know that, but he's become that guy. So I think it behooved the Packers, obviously, if he could play this weekend.
Yeah, and one of the names that we didn't mention there, Jaden Reed, still not cleared to practice, although he was dropping hints that he's getting close.
Saw that.
Putting the picture of him in a uniform. But I think I would go Quay as well. Not that I'm concerned about the alternative, right? We talked about it with Nags. I'm kind of enamored with Tyron Hopper.
Sure.
And at some point, we want to see what he can do in a more extended runway of play. And we frankly haven't been able to see 59 on the field much defensively. It's a lot more on special teams, and Hopper has flashed outside of preseason when he's done that. So I'm kind of intrigued by him getting on the field more. But what you just said is pretty paramount, that he's coordinating and calling the defense on the field, wearing the green dot, being in the middle of the defense, and also they're their best version of themselves when he's on the field.
Yeah, that's a good way
as
to put
much
it.
as I think him and Tyron Hopper can somewhat match up athletically in pass coverage and just calmness and comfortability with the defense, they're definitely a different unit with Quay on the field. So I think I'd have to go there.
And the lateral weapon that they have defensively in that mid-tier with him and Edgerrin Cooper together, the ability they have to play side to side and cover the whole field laterally, when they're together on a string doing that, it's pretty tough for defenses to manipulate.
Does it feel strange not to say Josh Jacobs?
It feels strange. It feels strange. And that's not to say that that's not important, but it really is. But I'd like to have him back. I hope he is. But I think we all felt a little better knowing it was just a contusion or whatever it is, and that it's not a long-term injury. So I think we expect him to be back when he's good. That being said, I mean, Emmanuel Wilson can do some things in there. Chris Brooks has been good in pass protection, as you know.
Your boy Chris Brooks getting a shout out. I know you're going to be excited.
But there's no way that the offense, especially from a running game standpoint and a leadership standpoint too, Billy, is as dynamic as it is without Josh Jacobs in there too.
No doubt about it. And the weird part about the Jacobs piece as to why I didn't say him is mostly because I think it's really important to have him for the Detroit game more probably than the Minnesota game. Like even saying that, I pause because he's coming off of a contusion playing on turf where the Ford Field turf is not exactly forgiving. And even though Warren Brinson joked that it was the first time playing on concrete for him going up to MetLife Stadium, he is not taking the field at Ford Field yet. So we'll see how 91 views that playing surface, because it is I think, rather similar. And I wouldn't be surprised if Jacobs is, again, held out is the wrong way of putting it. If he's able to go, he's going to be on the field. Now, maybe at a limited role, and maybe they try to ease his snap count up. But if he's able to go, he's going to go. And that being said, if you feel like you're going to be okay potentially with more Emmanuel Wilson and Chris Brooks, I think they try to err a little bit more on the higher side of caution, but there's only so much to be cautioned for.
Well,
because we're getting into the final 5 weeks of the year. What else are you saving them for than the divisional games right now?
And these are very important games, as you know, Billy, because of the way the schedule is shaking out the division, the competition in the NFC for playoff spots. You know, this has got to be the least secure you've ever felt with 6 wins at this 6-3-1 at this point in the season. Yeah. It's a good record, Billy, and the Packers are in decent position, but the most important games are ahead of them here. And I think that's something we all realize is going to be important, Billy. It's a little early for this, but Zach wants to know over under Aaron Jones 35.5 rush yards Sunday. I think the more interesting question there, Billy, is how much of a part of the game plan do you think he'd be if he does play? I think that's the interesting part of it more, because with the injury and this and that, how much will they have him out there for? What will the
I think he's going to be a huge part
of the cycle be.
I think he's going to be a big part of the offense. I think he's a focal point of the offense, and frankly, when Jones has been available, he has been a big piece of what they've done offensively, because easy option to get the football to, right? I mean, we watched him in the pass game be a very reliable receiver, and for a quarterback that, struggles to push the ball down the field, Jones has definitely been a good security blanket. But I would assume he's heavily used because they've kind of used him in spurts, and they've also been trailing from quite a bit, but he hasn't had more than 10 carries outside of this last week against Chicago since September. So I would assume you see a lot of Aaron Jones coming up.
I would think so. He's a dynamic player. No matter, he's I don't want to say ageless wonder, but he's been one of the guys that's kind of bucked the trend of how guys perform at higher
Again, if
ages.
anybody's motivated enough, it would be him right now.
Yeah. Although I don't think he has malice in his heart for the Packers. I think he's motivated to play well and do his best all the time and do all this. You think he's feeling it that way, Billy? Maybe you're right about that. Maybe you're right. He's a tough challenge.
A little bit of it.
He's a tough challenge.
A little bit of it, yeah.
Maybe for any defense. He's a tough customer. We know that. He's as tough as they come. So,
were you surprised with the
It'll be a
videos of Malik Heath at practice yesterday?
Well, in what sense? That it existed, that he was there?
Yeah, I guess it's a tough question because, at some point, he was going to get brought, like Matt LaFleur said on Monday. I'm excited to see him back out there this week.
Yeah.
I'm excited to have him out there this week.
Whatever their issue was, and we still don't know about it, he's going to keep that in-house. Whether he did something stupid, whether it wasn't, whether it was just a disagreement, you got to be able to move past that stuff as a player and as a coaching staff, and you got to move on. And I think that's the best way to be about it. We saw that last year with Romeo Doubs. Both sides moved on, and now he's playing very well. So I'm hoping Malik Heath can be the same. I can't blame a guy for being frustrated. Can't blame a guy for being nervous about his position with all these great receivers.
Yeah.
But I do know Malik Heath can provide good, positive impact for the Packers and value for the Packers in his role. And I think that's where he's got to be focusing on right now.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, he's got a great opportunity to be able to be on the field and try to, whether or not it's for this team, because with Jaden Reed coming back, that is going to take a spot, no doubt about it. Like somebody's going to probably get sacrificed on their 53-man roster spot for that moment and that re-inclusion into the roster. But then you have a chance to put some tape out there for other teams to be able to see and give yourself another opportunity around the league. I know he's been out there for now 3 years, but anything after that and after that situation, teams are going to be looking to see how you respond to it.
No doubt about it. That's what it's about, Luddy.
Rob Reichel, Wisconsin State Journal for Rob
Forbes.
Excuse me. Sorry. He tweeted yesterday that Malik Heath was issued citations on October 22nd for operating without a valid license and going 27 miles over the speed limit. Unclear if that's why he was left home on Sunday, but that was reported by Rob on Tuesday.
Well, probably didn't help the situation, I would imagine.
No.
Get to the DMV. It's not hard. Get your
Did
license.
you end up going or did you do it online like
Did
most
online.
people in 2025?
I ducked the smoke and did it online. I don't like that. I don't like not having my current address on my current license. And I'll be honest with you, I could use a new picture. I think.
I really thought you were actually going to go in there, though.
I would have. I mean, if it wasn't for Laura being like, you don't need to go in there, I would have. Maybe I shouldn't be doing it. I think I need a new picture.
Thank goodness Laura is the voice of reason.
She's just doing it online. She's like, you can do it, get it done right now.
Be a normal human being in the year of our Lord 2025 and go online.
She's normal. I'm not. That's the thing.
Has she told you this, or did you figure this out?
No, I think we all know that. I think everybody knows
I was
that.
gonna say, I feel like if you're listening, Luddy, at 9:37 here today, I don't know that you've listened to the whole show, but you've been able to pick up some clues.
She's the normal
I
one.
think most people have been able
Thank
to pick
God
up some
for
clues.
that.
Definitely the normal one. Hey, my wife definitely more the normal one in our household too. 877-794-1973. I bet some people on the talking text line would agree with that. Absolutely. And I appreciate. Sorry, what were you?
You think any coffee in these mugs, or it's just for the place setting of the set there? This is a great little set.
I don't know. McGivern really, he loves his coffee.
Oh, I know. I'm just curious. And who's my man, Billy, next to him that's talking? Do you know?
Michael Whitlow from the Journal Sentinel reports on high school football around there. He does a great job.
Got the chain and everything.
Good chain on. Yeah, no, you're spot on. We're watching the My 24 coverage of the high school state championships, and my man Mike McGivern, big time Mike McGivern, doing the pregame show. And
I'm saying,
I don't think there's any coffee in that mug, Armen, because I haven't seen anybody go and grab for it. Even like on First Take, where I thought those cups were fake, you see people drinking out of them enough.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And I think that you do see it sometimes, like on the Tonight shows and stuff, but it often sets the depth for the foreground, right? So they got the table, the screen.
Oh.
I think I've heard that, but Mike's got the glasses on the table. It's serious business. He's got.
We're serious business right now, dude.
I love it, man. I'm so excited right now. So excited.
Should I text him and see what's in the cup? I mean, they're live right now, right?
I mean, he's busy. I don't want to It's amazing to think that one of these teams is going to lose their first game of the year today.
Yeah, in Division 1 or Division 6, 7, and 5. All undefeated.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to distract you, Billy, but it distracted me. I just couldn't
see what I did there.
Couldn't help
you're
myself.
good. I like this one from Matt in Fort Atkinson. Wait until your son starts suiting up.
There you go,
I've been
Billy.
misty-eyed multiple times this season. Watch my boy play for Milton as a junior. Yeah, we got bounced out of the playoffs, but the pride of watching your kid play that sport,
Pretty
we both
cool.
love, something else. Matt, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing with us. 877-794-1973. Hopefully we can share you a winning parlay of the day on the other side, because Armen, I've delayed it enough.
We need one.
Put it off for quite some time. And it's been quite some time since we were victorious at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. No better day than today to hit the winner's circle. We'll do it next on the game.
I know that I must do what's right. Sure as Kilimanjaro rises like Olympus above the Serengeti.
Miss an hour of no BS?
Honestly, Billy, I don't think you'd miss it.
You can find all of the shows in podcast form. Just search No BS on the iHeartRadio app.
Now, a year in rock spotlight from 1977.
In June of 77, Ram Jam have a top 20 U.S. hit single with the cover of Lead Belly's song Black Betty. Chicago area rock band Styx have a U.S. top 10 album Grand Illusion, including the top 10 single Come Sail Away.
Come sail away, come sail away, come sail away with me.
In July of 77, the Grateful Dead veered towards progressive rock, adding strings, horn, and a choir on their ninth studio album, Terrapin Station.
Terrapin, and the whistle is screaming, Terrapin.
In August of 77, the King dies. Elvis Presley is found dead in his home in Memphis, Tennessee at the age of 42. Detroit rock vocalist Iggy Pop releases his second solo album, Lust for Life. It's his second collaboration with David Bowie. New York's Billy Joel releases his fifth album, The Stranger. It goes to number 2 in the U.S., with the single Just the Way You Are rising to number 3.
I want you just the way you are.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1977. Coming up.
iHeartRadio. Here are the top Journey songs that you thumbed up. Number 3, Separate Ways, Worlds Apart.
Someday love will find you. Break those chains that bind you. One night will remind you. Oh, we touched away our separate ways.
Number 2, Any Way You Want It.
Baby, who changed? She said, any way you want it, that's the way it is. Any way you want it, oh. I said, any way you want it, that's the way it is. Any way you want it.
Number 1, Don't Stop Believing.
Don't stop believing. Hold on to that feeling. Street light, people.
Hear more from Journey and similar artists now. Search for Journey on iHeartRadio. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free.
iHeartRadio. Here are the top Billy Joel songs that you've thumbed up. Number 3, My Life.
I don't care what you say anymore. This is my life. Go ahead with your own life. Leave me alone.
Number 2, It's Still Rock and Roll to Me.
Nowadays you can't be too sentimental. Your best bet's true, baby blue continental. Hot funk, cool punk, even if it's old junk, it's still rock and roll to me.
Number 1, Uptown Girl.
Uptown girl, she's been living in her right great world. As long as anyone with hot blood can. And now she's looking for a downtown man. That's what I am.
Hear more from Billy Joel and similar artists now. Search for Billy Joel on iHeartRadio. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free.
And now, Band in a Bottle.
A brief history of Culture Club. Culture Club, fronted by 80s style icon Boy George, lived a familiar pop music tale, rocketing from the top of the charts to almost total obscurity in a few short years, with some cocaine and heroin abuse, titillating sexuality, and fraternity suits thrown in for good measure. Their string of hits, Do You Really Want to Hurt Me, Miss Me, Karma Chameleon, and Church of the Poison Mind, fizzled out quickly in the mid-'80s when George's drug habits took the wheel. The obligatory 20-year reunion tour in 1998 did well, but the follow-up album, 1999's Don't Mind If I Do, was a commercial failure. Since then, Boy George has refused to rejoin Culture Club, instead focusing on his career as a DJ, so the remaining members of the band have decided to carry on with a new lead singer. Good luck!
Listen to the Varsity Blitz High School Sports Show Saturday morning from 9 to 11. This week, we'll discuss the football state championships and then talk with a few football coaches' wives to find out how their year went. Only on Fox Sports 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
Time now for Billy's Parlay of the Day, brought to you by Potawatomi Sportsbook. Bet above the rest.
Bet above the rest at the Potawatomi Sportsbook, and you can bet big and bet bold at that Potawatomi Sportsbook, and you better believe it's going to be a great night to be watching some Thursday night football at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Texans and Bills. And, Armen, I got to kind of square play might be the right way of putting it here.
It's okay. Sometimes
However,
they win.
I like touchdowns.
Hey, squares have four sides, and sometimes they connect, and sometimes you can get a win. You know what I'm saying?
like touchdowns. Now, I need you to help me out with the final of the third leg here.
All right,
of the
let's
parlay
go.
of the day.
Let's go.
Because Nico Collins, when he plays games for the Houston Texans,
he does.
He scores touchdowns.
He does, man. He does.
He's generally always their red zone target.
They're home tonight against the Bills. The Bills have been giving up points.
They're home tonight against the Bills. He got into the end zone last week against the Tennessee Titans. Now, doesn't bode well for my play here. He had gone 3 straight games without a touchdown. However, battling through some quarterbacks ins and outs with CJ Stroud out. Davis Mills, I don't know if anybody was watching this game, because if you were, I apologize. It was hard to watch last week, 16-13, the final against the Texans. Man, Davis Mills brought his team back, won that game in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I mean, he did.
Back-to-back weeks with a game-winning drive for Dougie Davis Mills.
Yeah, no doubt. And listen, I don't know, man. I mean, I'm not going to say that this is going to be an upset, but it's only a 5.5-point dog situation for Houston. Buffalo has not been consistent, Billy, as you know. Now, they've had some great moments. They won that game last week. It was kind of a wild one.
And the Texans have one of the better defenses in all of football.
They do. I know we're trying to kind of convince ourselves that your Texans futures are still going to work.
That they're still somewhat alive.
Work.
Yeah. I'm still holding out those Texans
let's not
futures
give up
are
hope.
alive.
They're plus 230 home dog, but I don't know. I think this is going to be an interesting game tonight, especially that it's a Thursday night, Billy, and you don't know what to expect. I also think 43.5 is kind of low for the total.
Kind of low for the total. We've got a couple of different options here.
All right, so are you doing Nico for sure?
We're going Nico Collins touchdown.
And
the other part of the backbone of this is Josh Allen's trying to win MVP again.
Got to. And whatever props you got for him. I mean,
Josh Allen's going to get into the end zone as well.
Yeah. He's been running all over the joint, and they need him to.
They do.
So
as much as James Cook and as much as they paid him in the offseason, Josh Allen decides once he's inside about 10 yards away,
he's the red zone
Josh
runner.
Allen time.
Yep. So what's his
Josh Allen
number?
anytime touchdown, minus 122.
All right.
Nico Collins, Josh Allen, both anytime touchdown. We could juice this thing up with the Texans up to 8.5, because you always buy the half point. You could buy 3 points with that hook, make it a plus 575. We go Buffalo Bills money line, plus 500. We hit that under.
Do you like the under?
And with those pair of touchdowns, you're sitting at plus 1,300.
So you're here to tell me you like the under, not the over. You didn't like my over idea. I'm just saying, that's okay.
Over, it's only 475.
No, that's
not
difference.
nearly
That's
as fun.
a big difference. No, this is your parlay of the day.
Well,
that's yours. No, I'm.
What we're talking about here. I'm just dancing around how different these numbers are.
I know you are. We're talking about the numbers, yeah. I mean, the big odds are tempting.
They're very tempting.
So is winning a game.
Correct.
So is winning a parlay.
So is winning a damn parlay of the day.
You could bring the point total down to 31.5. Minus 670 on that one leg. Roll with the over Did you think about that? I don't know if you probably
You just
not.
wanted to try to find a way to say minus 670 on the air.
Minus 670. I mean, we're trying to win or not? All right, no. I honestly like the over, but the under wouldn't be a bad pick at that level.
I like the Texans plus the 8.5. I like the Texans. We move this thing, make it 8.5.
I think it could be
Keep
tough.
this thing close.
Absolutely.
Keep this defense in the game. And keep your football team in the game, Dougie Davis Mills. Give me the Houston Texans plus 8.5. Nico Collins to find the end zone. Josh Allen to find the end zone. Plus 575 today at the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
They convert some first downs, possess the ball, hold the ball. Should be interesting, Billy.
It's going to be a good one. I'm very, very excited for it. Now, granted, we've had a couple of Thursday night games that have started to trend towards old Thursday night football, which we don't like. We want good Thursday night football. This has an opportunity to be a very good Thursday night football game, albeit a little scrappy and a little ugly at times. Could be a very, very good one coming up later on here tonight. 414-texter at 877-794-1973. If Billy and Armen are abnormal, who would want to be normal?
That's right. I love that, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Speaking of things you don't expect, did you watch any U.S. men's soccer yesterday? I'm sure you did, Billy. I know how much of a fan you are of soccer. You watched a little U.S. men's soccer. Did you notice who scored 2 goals?
I did not watch
the U.S. men's national team.
Probably should have.
Alex Freeman. He plays for Orlando City in the MLS.
Let's go, Alex Freeman.
You know who that is?
No.
That's Antonio's son. Congratulations.
Oh, hey,
congratulations,
let's go.
Papa.
Yeah.
Antonio Freeman, Packer legend. Obviously, we all know Antonio Freeman. It was his son last night, scoring 2 goals for the men's national team. And believe that was his first 2 international goals. So there you go. And yeah, Orlando City. I did not realize that.
Are these qualifiers for the World Cup, for the Gold Cup? Are these just like when they start playing for friendlies?
Good question. They beat.
Because I want to make sure that we're playing. I want to make sure we're playing well by the time
we need to be playing.
We need to be playing well.
It's an absolutely factual and fair thing because usually when we need to be playing well, it's always underwhelming. No doubt. Let's see. They're playing Uruguay. I'm not sure if this was a friendly or if this was a qualifier. I'm not really sure, Billy. I'll be honest with you. However, I just thought it was pretty cool that Alex Freeman, son of Antonio Freeman, bagged 2 goals to cap his breakout 2025. Keep it going. Who's had a really good young start to his professional soccer career. So it's pretty cool.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
That's a great little tidbit you got there. Well, look at you with the news and notes, Antonio Freeman.
Saw that. I felt
good
like
footwork. I'm stunned.
You know, if we got 90 seconds, I'm going to put that one in.
I'm
there,
surprised he's probably quite fast.
Yeah, shocking.
Probably pretty elusive.
Yeah.
It's crazy how that
On
works.
Wikipedia, it said he played basketball, soccer, and football as a youth alongside his father's sport, but he had a secret love for soccer and initially hesitant to tell his father he wasn't interested in pursuing American football, but soccer was a clear choice for him.
I got a feeling Free was not that upset.
No, I think he's happy for him. Clearly, he's doing well at it, making a living doing it, so I'm sure he's happy about that.
Also, a lot of, I feel like former NFL players that played big-time NFL football are like, hey, if you don't want to play football, that's all good. I sacrificed my head
so you could play something else.
You didn't have to.
Yeah.
That might be the way of going about it.
U.S. is qualified already along with Canada and Mexico because they're hosts.
Let's go.
Here we go.
Oh, that's right.
Sweet.
That's right.
What are we saying? We host the party. You don't even have to make it.
Thank you to the caller who I forgot to ask his name.
We don't have to qualify. We made it because it's our party.
Yes.
Now let's just make sure that we actually show up to the party.
Nice. Yeah.
Don't get too drunk before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be an issue. I don't think that's going to be an issue. I do, though. I would hope that we perform a little bit better.
I think every time this happens,
it was only the Women's World Cup in '99, right?
Right, that was the women's, and the women have usually done better in international competition than the men's.
Yeah, we should.
Men's always
have the women.
It's like underwhelming. It's like, come on, guys, let's have that one.
Maybe we should just put in to have the women's though, because then we could win that one.
Well, sure, I agree with that. I mean, let's do it all. Let's win it all. Let's win everything.
Let's give ourselves a chance. Let's give ourselves a chance.
Win a game.
Yeah,
a match.
I'd like us to get into the knockout round.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Win 1 or 2. Hey, go win it here today, folks that are playing for a gold ball. Going to be enjoying the high school state football championships coming up here later on here today. We will fire up a ton of NFL Week 12 previews and Packers and Vikings preview tomorrow. We'll talk to the voice of the Green Bay Packers, Wayne Larrabee. Thanks to Matt LePay for being a part of the program here today. Thanks to all of you on the NicoletLaw.com talking text line. Phenomenal job here today. And 608 said, I'm going to go around